Attention, gamers. It is your boy, Josh. Having consumed dinner in like 4 seconds, he regretted his consumption speed, and thus he is here to stream. Oh, what the fuck's that echo? Oh god. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, maybe just me. Oh, hello! Long time no see. Sorry I did not stream last week. I was very busy with work. I am thankfully not as busy this time, so. Hello, Nico. Also, hello. Yeah, Beth, pleasure. Yo, squad, what up? How it do? Melissa, Beth, a pleasure as always. I totally forgot to call my mom. I'll call her tomorrow. I got a warning at the beginning of opening the letter saying that saves might not sync, so I entered this very paranoid. I think this is where I left off, so I think we're okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna just wait like 1 second, make sure food enters my system into my stomach and not out my mouth, and then we'll start. I'll be on in 10. I'm waiting on a sample that's gonna be out of 1,000 before lunch. Dang. I hope that sample turns out Gucci. And also, thanks for joining. While I wait for this. Okay, so, before we start the game, very important news. I've been super into Zines again. If you don't know anything about me, I'm super into Zines. And, like, I really want to get this one. And I really want to get this one. Oh, hold on 1 second. I really want to get this one. Because I'm into Fire Emblem and Danganronpa. And, I don't know if I should just drop all my life savings into random fan work, but it's really tempting. Super tempting. 100% tempting. So that's where my life is right now, if anyone's curious. If you're into those stuff too, by the way, I recommend it. Zines? Is it pronounced zines? Fuck, you're probably right. I like Zines, it's like Vines, Zines. But whatever, fuck them. Where were all of them? I found them all on Tumblr, but some of them were on Twitter, blah blah blah. I can link it to you later, Nico, if you want. Are they zines? You've totally just changed my fucking life, Gaia. Oops, that's not the letter. Let me close this too. Damn. It should be Zines, like vines! Sorry, okay. Professionalism, let's start. I have Derm? Oh! That's what I like to hear, fuck yeah. Big taste boys. You've seen? Seen what? A cloudless night sky greets me when I walk out of the cafe. Beyond the tall buildings, a blanket of stars spreads out before me. Beyond all the timelines and endings. Ooh, what a future! I gotta double verify. I believe your every word, guy, but at the same time, like, I refuse to accept such a change in my life without double verifying. Though I do trust and believe you're correct. We open Pandora's box and suffer the consequences? Are we talking about this game, or are we talking about IRL? Spooky. Isabella once told me that the best place to view it is someplace outside the city, away from the noise and obstructive lights. Oh yeah, last I recall, we almost died in a car crash because we saw a ghost, and Isabella, and I are closer? Oh, let me see my relationship chart. Okay, fuck the relationship chart. Oh, never mind, I remember where buttons are. We don't hate each other as much? Fingers crossed? Whatever. She's seen it once in her mom's hometown, and another time in the university she used to attend. She asked if it's possible to try it out here sometime. I agreed with her at the time, if only because she appeared excited at the mere prospect of it. We made those plans along with Zachary and Ashton. Although up until now, we never got around it. Even so, I find myself enjoying this by being told it's only half the experience. Little things, you know, stuff you learn to appreciate when you're alone. Because at certain times, you get to meet people who are unfortunately born with the innate talent to ruin the mood and the scene with their mere existence alone. Kinda sounds like you, but a big sorry. For example, the very driver of the car fast approaching my direction. Luckily he doesn't notice me, but the fleeting moment we pass each other by gives me a brief glance at the people he's with. What were the chances of that? Kylie's sitting in the back seat with a serving of bread pudding in her hands. Yes, I remember this. Yes, this is the last. I think this is actually the last part we stopped. I could be wrong on that in the timeline. And beside him, it must be his wife. That's Gaia's favorite character, if anyone asks. By the way, Gaia's like, I fucking love Luke, 100%. I'm sorry, I won't bully you like that. That's rude of me. I'm very sorry. Yeah, it's probably the ghost. It takes a turn to the space in the corner. Throughout the night, that a cursory glimpse of all things to bother me has left me wondering what kind of person his wife is. And it's very reasonable that you hate Luke. And more than that, is a silent prayer to the universe. That was very rude. You have my deepest apologies. Thank you for your continued support. I hope I don't ever cross paths with that douche again. After having an eventful day, anyone who thinks nothing will surprise me anymore. But here I am, standing at the top of the stairway, watching an odd scene unfold before me. Relief crossing my mind first, followed by confusion.
What is she doing there?
I'm not gonna. I thought I would have like a chance to drink water, but fuck me, I guess. Although, given what happened this morning, the question feels a bit inappropriate to ask directly. What's the point that Isabel's here? Isn't she just our neighbor? Am I wrong on that? I thought she lived like on this floor. She's sitting cross-legged in the hallway, just right in front of her room, with several papers and folders scattered around, each of them seeming as important as the next. More than once, upon giving the scene a quick scan, I spot Briar Realty's logo at the topmost area of the pages. Everything considered, it looks like a mess made by a third grader working on church time. The lady will have a few things to say about this when she finds out. I have a few things to say about this myself, in fact. She's not our, maybe not our direct neighbor, but she, lives on this floor, I think, right? But something in the calm, focused manner she holds herself at present keeps me from disturbing her with that reminder. She's going through each paper with this intensity. I think Rebecca just fucking goes to Little's house all the time. I mean, that's also super in character. But I thought we saw because, we were going to go to work, but then we went to check on Isabella, and then we found out she wasn't home. So I don't think we would drive out of our way to do that, if that makes sense. And way, this is like 3 weeks ago, so maybe my memory's wrong too. Her brows are furrowed, lips in a tight line, both hands moving in precise movements as she shifts through each sheet. When she finds something of note, she moves closer, nose almost touching whatever paper she's holding, and grabs her phone to call someone.
Hello. Sorry to call you this late. There's something I just want to confirm, if that's okay.
Oh, they actually have her phone in this. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Thanks anyway. Not that one either.
It's a cycle. She goes through call after call, then after the last one ends, she shuffles through the pile again and dials another number. Is it work? I've never seen her this engrossed with her work before. Otherwise, she would have noticed my presence the moment I reached her floor. After the 9th call, she still appears as oblivious as when I've arrived. When she lets out a long sigh this time, I immediately take that as an opportunity to interrupt.
Isabella, you know the house rules here.
Excuse me. I have phlegm in my throat. At once, her head jerks back and hits the concrete wall behind her with a thump. There's Isabel I know. Glad still there. I allow her a moment to nurse it before speaking again.
Becca, you're late!
Oh shit, got him.
Yeah, I ran into a little trouble at the cafe. But I brought food for the two of us, if you haven't eaten anything yet.
That is the last thing we did. I really do not like Rebecca as well. And, once again, I'm hoping I change my mind. I would be so happy if I changed my mind. I want to like her so fucking much. Why? No reason. I just don't like hating characters, honestly speaking. But she makes it so hard. As anticipated, she grins once I raise the bag of food I'm holding. Yet it doesn't reach her eyes. There's nothing with a cheerful glint in it this time. There's a hollow tone for the sake of being polite. Ashton's right. Something's happening.
Yeah, maybe later.
Ooh.
I've got to finish this first. Just leave it here. I'll eat it once I'm done. Thanks, Becca.
You can't eat this here. You know how the landlady would react. Why are you even working outside? Your room's right there.
I know. Sorry. It just feels stuffy in my apartment right now. I'll go back inside once everything's been aired out. I promise.
That has never bothered you before.
Well, did we not just establish in our hearts that something has changed?
Well, it bothers me now.
Oh, really? Just now? I find that hard to believe.
What? Ah!
Yeah? Shouldn't you be happy? I mean, you've been complaining even if it's not your room. Now I know how you're feeling when it's messy, so I'm going to clean. Isn't that a good thing?
Isn't that a good thing? In spite of what's supposed to be good news, an exhale comes from me, drawn out and slow. She's really shit at asking what's wrong. Like, for someone very aggressive, she's very passive-aggressive.
It's a good thing, Isabella. Believe me.
Thank you, Gaia. Thank you. Once again, I'm not trying to hate. It's just so hard not to.
But you're as bad as Zachary at lying. What's really going on?
You don't have to give Zachary that L. Well, you know what? Nah, I'm being nitpicky now. Okay, let's keep going. She hastily averts her eyes, a surefire indicator that this is going to be one of those lengthy conversations that could possibly end with the other person angry. Again. It's one thing I like to avoid tonight at all costs. Just a bitch. Nah, I'm out here trying to... You know me. I'm a gossip monster, but I don't want to, I don't want to do it all the time. I don't want every 4 seconds to be like, bam, bam, fuck this girl, but at the same time, if every 4 seconds she updates herself to still be a bitch, then what am I supposed to do, right? Am I right? Yo, what up, was all... If you do not like me hating on Rebecca, I got bad news for you right now. And yeah, like, why did you have to give that L to Zach? There was no point. What kind of attitude is that for talking for clearly upset? Thank you. So I made a promise to Ashton and Zachary. Yeah, what? Squad, fam, we're all on the same side on this one. Sorry, I'm just fixing my mat. If she didn't talk to them, who else is she going to talk to? If she keeps this all to herself, who knows what might happen?
Isabella, you can tell me.
So last time was 2 weeks ago. Basically, Rebecca met with Luke and this little girl named Kaylee. We met her before as Zachary. We know that Luke is Kaylee's uncle. Other than that, we didn't really do fuck all. Like, someone let me know if wrong. I keep seeing the ghost, like every other fucking character. Bada bing, baby. And then, Isabella is paranoid because of the ghost. Like every other version.
Is it about your family?
A slight movement of her lips, though a frown. It's a reaction at least. I'm getting there.
Rose?
I thought her hair was the ghost for a second. I was like, what the fuck? She merely shakes her head. Just a little more.
Come on. I know something happened. I don't know if it's because of Rose, but I know it's related to her somehow.
Oh, and also, we got an invitation to the rites. And then we told our parents we'd go. We know Rebecca goes to the party because we saw that in Hannah's route. I think that's her name. It's been a while.
You weren't here when I visited this morning, and both Zachary and Ashton are worried about you. If you don't want to tell them, you can tell me. Does it have something to do with work? Office?
Turn to Rebecca, man, fuck this bitch. She's acting weird. She's gonna make me get in a fight with her. So Rebecca, oh no, what's wrong? You can tell me. No, I know! And isn't that like usually reversed in some way? Isn't that like usually like out internal? Like, I really care for her and I want to know what's wrong. But you accidentally say the wrong words, like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Oops, I didn't mean to say it, but I'm in a mood right now. Her internal is like, fuck this bitch. Her external is like, I'm so sorry for you right now. Sigh. She shifts then, her fists clenching tight and teeth biting her lower lip, and there's fear. The look of terror in her is the last thing I expected to see out of everything. Her mouth trembles briefly before she opens them. When she finally voices it out, the words simply spill out of her mouth. I hate it too? She's my least favorite. I think Luke was way worse, don't get me wrong, but she's my least favorite because I think I'm not supposed to hate her. Maybe I'm wrong on that too. Maybe I am supposed to hate her and I'm just assuming too much.
All of it. True to what I promised her, I listened, because this is something she's been keeping to herself, even from the two most dependable people I know. The fact she chooses to tell me this speaks a lot to me.
Becca, she was there again.
Yo, I feel that, Melissa. High fives.
Last night? In the office? Boss passed me all of Rose's lurk load yesterday. For the Ermengarde mansion. I had to stay late to finish them all. And then, when I was about to go home, I saw her. I saw her again. She was standing in front of me again last night, Becca.
I don't hate everyone. I like Bella, actually, quite a bit. I like Zach. Let me look at the character list. I will say, I'm not as into Marianne after doing her route as I was originally, but I do like her still. She just went from like a plus 10 to like 7, 8? Maybe 8's too high, it's been a bit. But yeah, Zach's cool. Hannah is like pros and cons, but definitely way more cons than pros. I like Isabella. I think her only real character flaw is that she's like a little bit fidgetier than you'd expect, and also she doesn't appear on screen as much as I'd like. And I like Ashton. I know the crowd does not like Ashton, but because Ashton's super awkward at times, and really like, I feel like if I was friends with Zach, this would be a cool like moment I would understand. But because we're just watching from the side, it's really fucking awkward. So it's like, I get the perspective, but at the same time, I agree with the people. But yeah, like he's not high on my list. Like Ashton's probably the exact middle. Like my tier list is least favorite, second least favorite, Hannah, Ashton, Marianne, Isabella, Zach. I think that sounds about right. Fuck Luke and Rebecca. Isn't Luke and Rebecca a thing? I feel like it's a comic or a show or something. Never mind, it doesn't matter. But yes, I agree, Ashton is very annoying at times. But when Ashton's in serious note, I really like Ashton. But once again, we'll do Ashton's route, because every time I do someone's route, my opinion of them either it gets worse or stays the same, actually. Because I liked Zach before I did Zach's route, and it didn't really make him like me. I didn't like Zach more after doing it. I just didn't lose respect for Zach. But I'm definitely losing respect for Rebecca in her route. Anyway, sorry, I'm taking forever. Sorry, my bad.
I couldn't get away. She was blocking the door. If I hadn't hidden myself, even if I made the tiniest noise, if she found me.
So wait till you play as Ash and Luke. Luke can get worse. He can really get. I 1000% believe you. Like, I'm pretty sure in the anime cutscene we see him like in the basement, laughing maniacally, if I recall. It's been like so long, and once again, I don't even know if I remember correctly because it's been so long. But Luke definitely feels like he's made to be the final boss, or at least a pawn of the ghost, which is probably pretty bad. I'm very curious about Ash's route, because we don't know a lot of Ash's internal thoughts. So either he could be way worse than what I think he is, or he could be way better than what the crowd thinks he is. But we'll find out once again.
Becca, she almost did! If she saw me under my table, I think that would have been the end of it. I'm scared. I'm so scared I won't be able to do anything!
By the end, her hands are trembling, and her breathing comes out in rasping intervals. For a long moment, I let the silence stretch out between us, let her sobs fill it instead. But even as her soft whimpers, English hard, die down minutes later, there's a heaviness hanging in the air. Not just from her, but also from me. From my exasperation over this whole matter, from my own frustrations over the stupid superstition, when she could do us all a favor and grow a backbone. Dang! She may be young, but she's no longer that young. It's about time to put an end to this. She can't keep going on like this. She's still plenty of years to live out. And what if she goes home? What if we're no longer there to keep her fears in line with what's real? And what do we do then? Okay, this makes no sense. Okay, I'll wait till it's be over. 1 second. Hold on. I'm more afraid for her, for what kind of imagination will do to her, than what kind of imaginary monster could. But what? Well, the matter she's looking at me right now, there's an expectation in it. Hope and please sewn together. Like, she saw the ghost! She's seen the ghost! She almost got a car accident because of the ghost! Holy shit! She wants me to believe her this time. If it's like that, then what am I supposed to say now? She's actually having a breakdown, come on, and she's shitting on her. And not only is she shitting on her, she's shitting on her because she's like, ooh, this person should be a fucking adult. There's no ghosts aren't real. She's seen the ghost! Oops, I almost slapped my phone out of the fucking table. Oh, choices, I guess. Is this why you didn't go home last night? This again? I think I know what option I want to pick, but let's see what chat wants. They almost got into a car accident because she couldn't look away from the ghost. And then you're gonna fucking shit on her by saying, ghosts aren't real. What does she fucking grow up? Thank you, Gaia. Thank you, Gaia. Live a hard life right now. It's gonna be really fucking hard. Like, I can't even think of a scenario that it happens without it being like, and then Rebecca gets a lobotomy and changes as a person or something. I'm gonna click this. Is that a plus? Yeah, that was easy. As much as I want to set her straight, a reprimand isn't what she needs right now. With that pouty face she's giving me, I doubt it'll ever end well if I push it. Oh, by the way, I think I fucking hate her. Like, pardon me. I'll just say this again, because that's in line with her character. Like, once again, I would never promote this IRL. I do kind of want Rebecca dead, but I'm going for the path where everyone lives, so I won't do it. Wants her to not be pieces. Like, I want to not hate characters, once again. Like, I don't get any pleasure out of hating Rebecca. That's a lie. I get a little bit of pleasure hating Rebecca, but, you know, I would like to just like everyone. At the same time, she makes it so hard. She makes it so hard. I know her. When she wants to be stubborn, she's stubborn. But there are moments when she can be acquiescing too? I don't know how to say that word. I'm sorry. Times when she'll be more accepting of what I tell her, despite her inclination to disagree with it. I know. Like, she's literally crying about that's how much she's traumatized. She believes she was going to be murdered. And our first reaction is, grow a fucking backbone. Like, damn. It's like fucking, if anyone comes up to me and was like, Josh, I was so scared. Nothing happened in the dark alley, but I was just petrified. And my first answer is, fucking grow up, you little baby. I'll be like, why are we friends? Unadd me immediately. Like, come on. Pee pee poo poo, Harrison. Your best words. Acquiescing. Ah, yes, I've heard that word IRL. Thank you. I will never remember that, though, but I appreciate the effort you put in right now. In the meantime, I'll be the ear that listens to her without judging her. Without criticizing her. Despite my own opinions on it.
You should have called me.
Means, like, agreeable through compromise. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. Sorry, I went to unplug something. Acquiescing? Yes. I do not use this word often in my vernacular. Unfortunately. She stares at me like I've grown another head, and I'm not just supposed out before I can stop myself. This is fucking weird, too. I agree.
There? I can't do that!
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Also, like, you know, I was so petrified that a ghost was going to kill me, I was hiding under my desk. Why didn't you call me? Because I would have alerted the ghost. You know? It's like, oh, you're being attacked by a serial murderer? Why didn't you just call me? Like, because the serial murderer will find me.
What will you do? Hit her with a book? You'll be be dead before that happens.
Oh, I guess that too.
And
That isn't what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's find out. Let's find out.
After you got
Okay,
out,
okay.
you should have phoned me.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Becca is fucked. I'm pretty sure I'm fucked.
You didn't have to go to Zachary's.
What's wrong with that? The corners of her mouth curl up, a sheepish smile by general definition. This is Isabella. Her smiles are never half-hearted, never lacks her high spirits. In spite of this, I know everything is going to be okay. Somehow. Although she's learned how to pick herself up long ago, long before we
oh,
met.
yeah. Sorry. I don't even remember how I ended up in Zach's place. I was in a hurry to get out of the office, and it was already late.
Well, you don't have to apologize for going to Zachary's house instead of going all the way back home or / calling Rebecca. It's not that big a like.
Besides, I don't really think you'll believe me if I wake you up over something like that.
Thank you. Yes, she was pissed about it. I agree with everyone in chat right now. I don't think Zach. Okay, so I don't even think it's like anything wrong with Zach. I think she's just offended that they're like BFFs. She didn't call her first or something. Call me Jay. I mean, yeah, like literally our first reaction was like, grow a fucking backbone. And then our second reaction is, why didn't you call me? I don't understand it. Once again, things don't make sense. Harrison, we play as a bitch and we're mean to our friends. Thank you. Thank you.
That's beside the point. True or not, there are people who will always be concerned about you.
Yeah, like Zach, like Ashton. I think that's your parents, maybe. That's all I can think of.
There's Zachary, but he's the first person you went to, and you didn't tell him anything. You just slept there.
Josh told Nico to fuck himself. Nico, per Harrison's request, you should procreate with a being very close to you, including thyself. Also, she says that, like, Zachary didn't take care of her. Yes! And also, it was very, like, why are you judging her for not telling? Rebecca is so weird that, like, we get it. You're a teacher. Why? Thank you! 100% agree. Hello, my name is Rebecca. I'm judgmental, harsh, selfish, narcissistic, and I'm mean to my friends under the pretense that I care about them. Thank you. Agreed. Judging pretty hard for someone who says they would judge. Thank you. Yes. Also, if you're being emotionally traumatized, you aren't entitled to tell everyone immediately after. Like, Zach was respectful and wanted Bella to tell when she's ready. Very fair and reasonable, I feel. Don't fucking judge by saying you didn't tell him anything. You just slept there. Bitch.
There's Ashton too, and me.
All fine choices. We chose not to. Can hate. You know. Maybe not the them and me part. Not very nice. The only safe place is X. Honestly, so far in the game, you're absolutely correct. It's the only place that hasn't been hurt so far.
But how do you think I'll be able to explain to your aunt or your family if you suddenly disappeared? Think about that.
Okay, as you guys know, Rebecca is the victim. We didn't think about this clearly. Belle, her problem's unimportant. Rebecca, think about Rebecca. If Belle died, then Rebecca would have to call the Ann family. We gotta think about her if she disappeared. 100%. Like, are we not all in agreement? Like, what the fuck? Man, welcome to the stream where you like vacation. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the stream is going way slower because every click I just showed Rebecca. But in my defense, every click she digs her hole deeper.
Right.
Also known as Rebecca and our angry friend. And by the way, if everyone in chat is tired of me shitting on Rebecca, please let me know. I'm consumed by rage, so common sense is leaving me. If you disappeared. Yeah. I know, right? Thank you, Gaia. Then she grins. Playful and mischievous, a preamble to an old banter. It's still not quite there, still not quite her usual self, but with it, I know we're bound to get her back soon. I'm so confused that I'm here for Josh to be pissed. I'm mad. Fuck this. Not this bitch, sorry. Me, the bitch, in the scenario. Yes, I'm so proud of us as a collective group chat. Like, woke. I'm pointing to chat right now. Woke people in chat. Broke people in game. Well, not her. Broke person in game.
Mom.
Got him. I'm here for the reason. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I told you not to call me that.
Oh, don't fucking do that.
I sent an elbow to her side for added measures. Assault. Okay. Just kidding. And when laughter follows the familiar gesture, none of it is unexpected. That's what's comfortable. This is what we found in equal ground despite our stark differences.
There they are. See, they're friends. They can shit on each other's hopes and dreams. Isn't that what friendship's about?
And for the moment, I accept things as they are. Afterwards, a hush stretches out before us. For Isabella, this is rare. This isn't her. Yet in this moment, as she fiddles for the edge of another paper near her, as she hugs her knees close to herself, and lets a pensive expression linger on her, it feels strangely fitting. As if this is where everything's supposed to lead to, if we allowed it long ago. Seconds later, the movement is broken by the sound of a door easing open and the voice begging some little piece.
How many times have I told you girls not to loiter around the hallway? It's noisy. Some people here are trying to sleep.
We need a better landlady. Holy shit. Companionship is witchcraft. It is a horror game, so this all does make sense.
Quiet down or go do your talking inside. I'm pinning a memo to your door the next time this happens.
Wow, what a fucking bitch. Damn, is everyone just mean in this game? No wonder it's a horror game.
Millennials.
Oh, never mind. I understand now. I forgot about that part. Isn't this game like 2013 or something? Wait, hold on. Let me just look it up really fast. 1 second. I'm very curious. The letter release date. So this is taking way longer than I expected. Oh, 2017, never mind. I thought this game was way older than it was. My bad. We good, we Gucci. Your face, man.
Sorry. We won't do it again.
I'm proud of you, Gaia. Fuck yeah.
You'd better.
Oh, fine.
Door closes and Isabella starts gathering the mess she made, carefully stacking them all in her arm. At a loss for what to do, I help her pick them, and for the first time, I get a closer look at it. Completely unintentional, of course. I would never sin otherwise. Okay, Boomer Lord. That was good. I'm proud. But it catches my attention nevertheless, and a confused frown makes its way on my face. Why is she looking through this? I look to her for an explanation, but she merely ignores the question in my eyes, takes the paper off my hands, and finishes cleaning up. The last paper she puts on top is a letter. The letter. Name drop. The one she supposedly found in the mansion was probably the root cause of this odd behavior. I shoot her a questioning look for that too, but all she gives me is a smile. In a halting tone, she so completely unlike
Becca,
her.
I'll find a way out of this. You guys don't have to worry about me. Anyways, I should go. I'll see you later.
The letter.
Where are you going?
Getting myself some food. Don't wait for me.
Didn't we bring food? Isn't that going to be your next line?
Isabella walks away before I can stop her. Before I can remind her that I brought food enough for the two of us. She quickly disappears down the stairway while I'm left standing in an empty hallway holding 2 bags of takeout. One of them will go uneaten tonight, just an innocent passing thought. One I don't dwell much on as I head back to my room.
Yo, I would support that move 100%. Fuck yeah, Gaia. I wonder who wrote it. Oh, could be Satan. Poor Bella just wants to get the fuck away. You know what? Same. I ignore all of it in the same way I've assumed I won't ever encounter that douche again. That douche again. Oh, that's Luke. Never mind. I thought you were talking about Bella. I was like, why would you say that?
What happens October 27th? Oh, okay. The pictures. Oops. The pictures happen. And Zach meets with the professor. Cool. I'm gonna save. It's been a bit. Boom. No, not this demon chum. The brief lull the past 2 days has offered is nice while it lasted. We're as nice as it can get, with worries of Isabella's whereabouts creeping up on to me every now and then. Bella is absconded. It was super effective. Dabs home. She hasn't showed up after that last talk we had in the hallway, and the dinner I've brought her had been given to a different neighbor before it spoils. Why didn't we just eat it? By all means, this shouldn't be anything to lose sleep over. She's gone on work trips before, usually a day or two. This will simply be one of those. Yeah, nice. Though it's often with a message saying exactly where. But it's the dower note she ended our last chat with at Nas.
Like an ugly premonition.
And as expected, just as things start to settle and steady rhythm finally wormed its way back to my routine, Thursday morning brings further disturbance to the now calm waters. With little ceremony, though still enough to ripple through everything. In retrospect, I really should have seen this coming. Luxbourne is a small city, relatively speaking. Compared to, say, London or Glasgow, it's nothing but a tiny mass of land boasting a mere population of 68,000. Those numbers alone are nothing to scoff at when standing in a busy street. If you pay close enough attention, faces walking the crosswalk, or riding the subway will soon grow familiar. How unfortunate that out of that number, it has to be Teal fucking Luke I encounter more than once.
Oh, you know, a few problems popping up here and there that the agents failed to tell us somehow.
Hey, sleazy douchebag, I remember that guy.
Nothing a few hired hands can't fix, of course.
Hey, yeah, sleazy douchebag.
I would have preferred a place near the city and something that's new to save us all the trouble. But darling wife insisted.
Darling wife. Run away very quickly, run away, do not pass. But I want my 200! Luke's problem is just that he's a douchey, racist alcoholic who has no love for people and frequently cheats with his wife. Other than that, he's fine, I feel.
Who am I to say no?
Ah, are you kidding me?
His smug head is the first thing I see upon turning the hall, in spite of the small crowd of parents and students gathered at the corridor for the primary's career day. Everything about Luke is a problem, Luke. What is it? The one W in Luke is that he did not have sex with Marianne that one time. What a fucking hero. However, it is Kunz that draws people's eyes to him. The manner he carries himself with all the confidence in the world, his mere presence dwarfing everything around him. I'm willing to bet he's also enjoying the attention it garners them, especially the ones coming from the women.
What an ass.
It's because, as Marianne, we said no, yeah, thankfully. Lord heaven, thankfully. A single glance at him, and I know immediately that one way or another, if we ever bump into each other again, my day will effectively be ruined in some capacity. I mean, it makes absolute sense to me. He also exudes that air. The sort that makes you want to run him over with a lorry and pass it off as an unfortunate accident. With him, it's either you punch him or you let yourself be charmed. There's no in between. I'll gladly do the honor of the former myself, but alas, there are people around us. Now I'm stuck having to face one of the two.
I shouldn't have volunteered.
At that time, helping out sounded a good idea. I have no classes left today until after lunch. Oh yeah, the party's today, right? Or is it tomorrow? I thought it was tomorrow, actually. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Cool. It's more of a plus to Marianne than Luke. Luke not having sex with Marianne was more her. Yeah, for sure. I just thought he'd be more of a bitch about it. And he was pretty much a bitch about it, but I thought he'd be more of a bitch. Back up being annoying. Luke. This is me, yeah. It's her one big character pro, that she also hates Luke, like everyone else in the game. I could have opted to stay at the teacher's lounge and work on my lesson plans, but that means being left alone with her deputy head and this chatter. He's a good man. He's a good man. Oh, the deputy head, my bad. But Crivens, he can talk anyone's ear off. And the moment an opportunity arose, I jumped on it. It's a simple task to boot. Just deliver a whole box of materials and a few posters for the event, and maybe stay around to assist if time will allow it. I just wasn't expecting him to show up here. Out of the frying pan into the fire. Had I known, I would have stayed and suffered through the deputy's impromptu speeches about his life crisis instead. What's done is done. Going back is also out of the question. With how unexpectedly heavy the load is carrying is, I'd hate to lug this for a trip back just because my pride can't take another second of interaction with this guy. He's insufferable, alright, but I've had my fair share of dealings with teens of more or less the same temperament, all considerably younger than him, and they listened. If he wants to be difficult like last time, so be it, but he can bet his sorry English ass I'm not standing down. Left with no other choice, I brace myself and suck in a breath, mustering every bit of patience I have as I step into the hall. My grip on the box is tightens as I pull it closer to me and attempt to assume a low-key air as I amble towards the room. The box is not big enough to hide my face, even with the stuff piled on top, but if all else fails, I can just hit him with it. She is very dramatic. To be fair, avoiding Luke is quite an effort, so for once I don't blame her. Still, a small prayer forms in my head. If there's even one listening out there, please grant me enough restraint. Better yet, I hope he doesn't notice me at all. That'll definitely make my life easier. Seriously, how hard can it be? He's standing a few ways from the door, and there are plenty of people between us to use for cover. If I'm careful, I can just go in, hand in the stupid box to whatever's in charge, forget every plan of staying longer than necessary, and step out as soon as I can. Easy as pie. But as luck would have it, the exact moment I reach the room's threshold, someone barrels towards me. She lands out of my waist before toppling with a sudden commotion and a gleeful squeal. Hey, it's Kaylee! I knew it's you too! The force of it nearly throwing me off balance, sending the items stacked atop the box, tilting dangerously to the sides. With the child's added weight to my waist, pinning me to the spot, and both my hands occupied, watching anything I'm able to do. The short seconds in between slows as everything gradually slides off the box's small surface. Under the different circumstances, it would be a funny story some other time. Comical, even. Until another set of hands reaches out and steadies the poster starting to take the nosedive right to the floor.
Oh, careful now, Daisy. Don't make a mess here.
My entire body freezes. Upon hearing his voice alone, an irritation impulse to hit him immediately bubbles up. Before my limbs could catch up with what my brain is currently screaming at me, he moves to take the burden off my hands. Irritation gives way to surprise, then confusion. It is in that moment when instinct finally kicks in and I tug the box closer to me before he could fully lift it up.
What are you doing?
What does it look like? You're surprisingly slow on the uptake for someone of your profession, aren't you?
Oh, that's a sick bird. $5 as Rebecca gets with Luke. I'll take that because I'm pretty sure in $5 we're all gonna die. Snaps fingers.
Bloody, doesn't this school have people for this kind of work? So much for being a center of academic excellence.
I hate him so much. I hate him so much.
I'm going to ignore that slight to my alma mater and my work, because that's not what I'm trying to get at.
I will actually say, though, I love their banter because I hate them both, and I have no horse in the race. So it's just like watching your two enemies destroy themselves, which is quite nice for once.
You know what? Why don't we just rephrase that to something you'll easily understand?
Oh, if anyone asks, I never had those urges. Oh, this conversation never happened. Thank you.
Why exactly are you doing this?
Well, you look like you could use a bit of help.
Yeah, watching them know each other is great. Sadism. I love it.
Have you seen your face while you were heaving this around?
Mister, I'm pretty sure if there's ever a look on my face, it's entirely because I saw something extremely unpleasant this morning.
Aren't you a ball of sunshine today, Daisy? Having a bad day, aren't we?
I will also say, I think Luke's voice actor is really fucking good. He might be up there for the best voice actor in the game. My opinion.
Oh, you have no idea.
I'd put it away if I were you. You might scare the children.
You don't have to worry about that. This isn't my department. I was just asked to bring these. Anyway, I can handle this myself, mister. The room's just right over there. Behind you, in fact.
Is Kaylee going to be like, what about, like, are you ignoring me, everyone?
Now, if you could please move over and make way, it would do the whole world some good.
Keeping my voice level throughout is a miracle in itself, but regardless of how polite my request is, he doesn't budge. Did what I just said merely fly over his head? Were my choice of words really that difficult to comprehend? Surely it wouldn't be that hard. I think he might be a little touched in the head too. I like to ask him, actually, but Kaylee chooses that instant to pipe in.
Don't worry, Miss Pink. Tio's strong. You can leave this to him. My papa does it lots of times, but I'm not allowed to talk about it to anyone. Tio says it's
Confidential, Munchkin.
That's right. Tio's smart, isn't he, Miss Pink?
Oh, he knows the big words. Like confidential. Demon cold.
I'm still of the opinion that he's a piece of shite, but I must admit his goddaughter's excitement is contagious as always.
Like, Demon Baby. Have you seen her eyes? Demon Baby. Her head is as big as, like, this much of his body. Demon. Her head is as big as his chest, Demon Baby. I know this is anime, but come on. Well, yeah, it can hurt you. For sure. It's hurting me right now. Use my name right. Yeah, her head's huge, and I know this is anime, and I'm pretty animated myself, but damn, she big. Way worse than the Twilight Baby. Yeah, she's pretty fucking bad.
She's yet to budge from her place, though to be honest, I'm starting to lose some feeling in my stomach with how tightly she wound her arms around it.
He was looking for damn sickest bird I've ever seen.
I'm sure he is, Kylie. But I'm also sure he'll find better use for it elsewhere.
Like helping you out.
Oh, well, that's one thing, but...
She's also hovering like 3 feet in the air. Yeah, I mean, what if she's just like 5 years old, but also 5 foot tall? You ever think of that? Demon kid. She's either floating in the sky, or she's like, or Luke is fucking 4'6". Both of them scary thoughts.
You heard the kid.
I think that's just so we can see her face. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Let me be nitpicky, Melissa.
No one's asking you.
I actually like the canon Lucas and Manlet way more. I would be fine with that too.
Oh, you wound me, woman.
Lucas a fucking man. Confirmed. Hold on, wait 1 second. Hold on. Fuck, it does give their heights. I totally forgot to give their heights. I was like, I want to see Luke's height and it not be told so we can canon it. But it gives heights. Bummer.
And I'm quite certain I can do more damage than that. Shall we give it a try? Again?
Whoa. Are threats allowed? I feel like they're not.
He pales, stammering for a bit, until he ultimately decides against saying anything and tells us for a brief show of discomfort instead.
I don't know why he's panicking. He won the fight. Yeah, I don't care what it says either. Yo, fuck the cannon. Give me 1 second. I knew it was gonna fucking rain. Power of my head.
Swirling up flashbacks of the last time we met. His composition, when he finally regained some of his bearings, say it all. Nothing short of hilarious, if I do say so myself.
I'll have you know that threats never work on me, Daisy. Not in a million years, not ever.
Sick bird. Damn, son.
You're assuming it's a threat. How cute.
That too. I'm not scared of you. Just because you landed a hit.
Uh-huh. Do go on. Keep telling yourself that.
It was a fluke, you hear?
I don't know why he's like this. He won the fight. He won the fight.
I was caught off guard and your damn book left a dent. If I end up in a hospital because of what you did, I'm sending the chief of Luxburg police after you, woman.
This is definitely the whitest line Lucas said in the entire game, and he said some pretty white lines.
You don't say.
Just give me that bloody box.
He snatches it out of my hands before a word of protest exits my mouth and quickly disappears behind the classroom. Now I understand my taste in people. Oh, sorry, Alyssa. So this is not our first time meeting Luke. We met Luke in a cafe because we were going to order food for Belle. We see Haley, who's one of our students, and then holding Luke's hand. We didn't know Luke was her uncle, godfather. I forget exactly what it is from my head. So we just like attack Luke with a book. We like hit him in the face, and then they have a fight. And then Luke grabs our hand and we can't move because of it. And then Kaylee's like, "Why did you hit my uncle?" And then we like don't fight and we apologize and shit. It was weird. This is nicer than the accent. Okay, let's be real. Excluding Zach, he acts way nicer to everyone except Hannah. Please use the Demon Baby's true name. Sorry, Demon Baby. My apologies. Not that it matters who brings it now, my prior irritation has already melted into amusement. He's not so bad once you figure out his temperament works. It's almost similar to a child. Though I still have to ask.
Kylie, did your Tio eat something bad before coming here?
Kylie, not Kaylee. Whatever. I'm not gonna remember her name. Fuck her.
He's unusually nice today.
Yep. That's a good name, I'm not gonna lie. A far-fetched idea, I know, but it's the only reason I can think of why this arsehole is suddenly acting like a decent human. He's quite frankly far from being. First and foremost, he didn't end our last meeting on a good note. If I were him, I'd avoid the very person who put a dent in his skull, as he so aptly put it. Why is he acting so friendly 2 days later? Did something happen in 2 days? Blah blah blah. He's 27th. He bought the house. I assume he's happy that he bought the house. He drank alcohol. Okay.
He always is. But I made him promise to be extra nice to you since you helped me so much. I think you're gonna be great friends.
Daughter and Ted and something else. Damn. I can see it though. I can see it. Oops. I didn't mean to double click. It's the last person I want to be chummy with in this whole city, but Kylie, whatever, doesn't need to know that.
Are you sure it's not something he ate during breakfast?
I really hope it's not the case, but you're probably right, Kyle. They did the same thing with Hannah and Zach, and it was pretty weird too.
I gave him some jelly babies this morning. Really brought me lots of them. Mama said I should share, so I offered half of it to Tio when he picked me up.
Demon Baby. I don't know how to say. What's the? Sorry. Once again, we'll have to see at the end, Nico. But if you lose, $5 please.
He likes the black ones.
Oh, that's probably why he's weird. Jelly baby overdose.
That's a sick burn too. Jelly babies are just weed edibles. Yeah, she's really like 21. Okay, keep waiting, man. Damn. He could have done everything a favor and choked on them while he's at it.
Do you want some? I've got more. I couldn't find Melody or Takako this morning, but I'm sure they'll be fine sharing some of it with you.
I really hope we don't have to memorize her friends' names if they ever become actually important, because this will be really rough for me to remember. Do you like a Donald Duck voice and say Demon Baby? Like... Okay, that would be $5, guys.
No, I'm not really very fond of them. I was just asking. Oh, where's your mum, by the way?
Out of town with Papa.
An unexpected pang hits me at her words. The statement, though innocent enough, unearths a whole trunk of memories from childhood. So eerily familiar. I spent eating dinners alone, the number of days coming home to an empty house growing with each passing year. And sometimes several Christmas Eves spent with relatives instead of my own family. Her mother is in hell. To be fair, her mother rules hell, so it doesn't really change much. It's too late to think about it now, but when I remember, the dull ache is still there. Familiar, though lessened by the years now. Besides me, Kaylee takes a step back, having gotten tired of clinging to me. There's nothing but cheer in her, and she doesn't seem too affected by the fact. Though it makes me wonder how much of it is real and how much of it is there to mask the loneliness, if there's even one. What a lucky child. Consider the farm to be my W. You know, it's honestly a huge W for me, so I really can't hate.
Weren't they informed of career day beforehand?
Do Do you think it would hesitate to burn you and your family to ashes? I don't even know if this thing would hesitate to burn the world to ashes, let alone my family. Weren't they informed of career day beforehand?
Yeah, I told them all about it. My mom was looking forward to it.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's at least like 20 souls trapped in this one eye. Maybe more.
And they still left?
Uh-huh. It's important business, so it can't be helped. They promised to tell me about it when they come back tomorrow, though. Papa said he'll give me a gift if I behave. I've been a good girl, right, Miss Pink?
I gotta say, her voice actor's really good because it's killing me, and I think only a talented voice actor could do that.
You always are.
All of them are screaming. All of them, my skill soul is screaming, so I don't blame them.
But they asked that douche, they asked your Tio to look after you? For this?
Nope, they didn't.
No? Then how?
It was supposed to be Tia. Mama likes her better than Tio, so she asked her, but she's sick and had to visit the doctor today.
Let me check something really quick. I'm trying to figure out when Hannah opened the thing to get possessed. Guess I'll figure out later. No hard to kill Josh. Not hard to kill Josh. That English hard. Me hard English.
Oh, that's supposed to be a secret, by the way. Oh, but I think it's a bit confusing because Tio said she also went shopping. That's unfair. Don't you think so, Miss Pink? Mama doesn't allow me to go out when I'm sick.
Yeah, that's pretty unfair, girl. High five.
It's still okay, though.
Fucking roast
Tio
you.
always buys me sweets before we go home.
I don't know. This feels like the opposite of a roast right now, God.
I'm gonna ask for a parfait today. Extra large.
Didn't she say... Fucking holy shit, she just dragged that from his face? Got him. Didn't she say she didn't want to eat extra large parfaits because she's watching her image or something like that? Didn't she say that during the cafe? Did I make that up in my head?
Don't tell Takako, okay?
Looking at her like this, it's easy to get a picture of where Kaylee's fondness for the guy comes from. She's far from a demanding child unless you've made a promise of some sort. She never forgets those. She'll make friends with anyone, whatever she is. Buy her a few things and voila, you're settled. Mama likes Tio better than Tio. The world likes Tio better than Tio. So sick fires, yo. No. No wonder she's so attached to the man. Ugh, I almost said a bad word there. The douche probably showers her with gifts wherever he can. I can't say if the sentiment's the same for the latter, however. He doesn't seem the type, but probably just does it for the sake of getting some peace and quiet whenever he's with the girl. Classic technique.
But before that, I'm gonna show him to everyone first.
She's like, Tio, Luke sucks and Tia Hannah's better. God bless. That's called taste, baby. Hell yeah. Before that, I'm gonna show him. Oh, that's a line that she just said. I don't know why I said it.
It's gonna be great. No one else has a gazillionaire fairy godfather.
Well, you know what? I can't blame her. Get that dollar bill. Fuck yeah.
Also, when I grow up, I'm gonna be exactly like him and marry someone really handsome.
Cool.
Like Tia did. That way, I can be awesome too.
This is... I think this is the scariest conversation I've had in this game so far. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even say that to be funny. There's some sort of misguided logic in there that I'd like to correct. Before I can say my piece, douchebag steps in, fresh out of the commotion from the classroom behind us, and plows into the conversation with every subtlety a wrecking ball has. That's because you're talking to a child. That is pretty scary, I will say. But then I do talk to you occasionally, Nico. Dab, 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 dab. No shade given despite no one asking for his opinion. You know? Cthulhu knows what she wants.
Munchkin, sweetie, trust me. You don't have to marry someone for that to happen.
What the fuck's happening right now?
I don't.
What the fuck's happening right now?
Just do your thing, darling. I'm quite sure you can do great things on your own without lugging around an extra baggage with you.
What the... I'm so confused. My brain is so small. Me no understand what happening. I'm concerned about this child, her values.
Tia married you.
Kelly drops the statement without any sort of preface, and the moment it lands, the douche finds himself grappling with the conversation.
Yeah, well, that's...
Baby, this is pretty evil. It's because he doesn't like his wife.
That's true, Munchkin, technically.
This is what the fuck.
But it's not the same thing.
No greater evil. A small frown creases the girl's eyebrows. She tries to comprehend her Chio's rather vague explanation. It's not surprising either when Luke tenses under the child's questioning gaze. It's familiar. I've seen the same look a great deal of times before. On Asher when he's trying to say something he can't quite phrase. Another second passes before the douche moves, kneeling in front of Kylie and placing both his hands on either sides of her shoulders. Kind's last thing I'd ever described the man, but in this minute, there's a smile on his face I can't place, tendered by all means for someone as obnoxious as him. It's a curious thing to see, if not a bit odd.
Listen here, sweetie. Tia was already a great person before she met me.
Yeah, we'd be better off to say if she didn't marry him.
She is?
This is really fucking weird.
But I don't see her doing anything. She's always at home.
Not always, Munchkin. Did you know she's really good at numbers?
You're good with them too. You helped me with my homework once.
Oh fuck, he can do 3rd grade homework.
Well, Tia's much better than me. She used to do maths with big numbers.
She used to do maths indeed.
Oh, like millions?
No, gazillions. And she's really, really good at it. So much so that her dad let her manage anything that had to do with it.
I can see that he's not good with numbers for this reason.
That was even before she met me, too.
Does that mean she's better than you?
So fucking weird.
Oh, leagues, Munchkin. Way, way better than I'll ever be.
What's happening? For some reason, I don't think he's still talking with his wife. Mathematical prowess, and his voice trails off. In fact, if I had been paying closer attention, I wouldn't have noticed the change in him. The slight shift in his smile from one that's tender to something wistful, like remembering a memory he's always been fond of, but he often kept to himself. And at the fleeting glance of it, a tiny insignificant part of the world somehow also shifts. Opinions changing, impressions.
You know what? Why don't you ask Tia next time you have homework,
Okay, next time I'll ask her to help out.
See? No need to marry a good-for-nothing bloke.
Can I also tell her to not stay at home anymore? If Tia's good at it, I'm sure she can help you out too. And Papa. He computes a lot of numbers too. Tia can help him.
You go do that. I'm sure she'll love to hear it, Munchkin, even if it's been a while since.
Another silence from him, then without missing a beat, he turns Kylie around and lightly pats her shoulder in a gesture to end this conversation right here and there. Probably before he can say other things he's never intended to say or a child is not meant to hear.
But off you go first. I think I saw your friend run off to the other classroom. The one with the pigtails?
Tia wouldn't have had to die if she didn't marry him. Is she dead? She's possessed, so she's basically dead, I guess, but we don't know how this possession works. She could be dead inside and blah, but...
Go say hi to her. You still have those jelly babies to give her, yes?
All right, but wait for me, okay? I've got loads more to show you. They put up my drawing on the bulletin the other day. I'm gonna take you there later.
It's got a point. Can't deny it. It's possession death. It's hard. It's weird. It's different by medium, but you might have a point.
I'll be back.
She soon disappears behind the small crowd, none the wiser to the sudden change in the mood around her. Luke strains as soon as she's gone. The expression of his face grows less kind now that there's no reason to reassure. The way that a chuckle still escapes me. It cynically snaps me, an accusing glare clear in his eyes, though it's less threatening now considering what I've witnessed earlier. Funny how one's impression of someone can easily change with that minute detail.
Why are you laughing like that?
Don't mind me. I just saw something surprising today. Don't let it bother you.
No, you can come back from possession, but it depends on choices. There you go.
Putting it like that won't make me any less inclined to ask. What is it, woman? If this is another one of your threats, I've already told you it isn't going to work on me.
There's the Luke I remember.
That good teacher act isn't going to fool anyone.
What makes you think it has to do with you? I could have just remembered something funny. Not everything in this world revolves around you, mister.
Not with this game, you don't. Damn!
I am not daft, Daisy. It's on your face for all the world to see. Now, say it so we can be done with this stupid talk.
I let another laugh. More to delay than to express any sort of amusement over the matter. In truth, I don't know where to start. One wrong move, one wrong word, I might offend the man. Ooh, I'm actually very curious what you guys think I should respond with. He's still a shit. He's a shit heap. Call him a shit heap. If that was a choice, you know I would instantly pick it. I'm very curious what you guys want me to pick. I don't know what to do. I think there's an obvious choice. Okay, I started the wrong key, but you know what I'm trying to go for. If you want to encourage the romance, then I say it's not what I want the scenario. Because okay, I don't know what they. Okay, so in my opinion, clearly obvious Luke, clearly positive Luke. So if we want to go for positive Luke, great. Because I'm gonna be real, I think we don't want all these positive, but I don't know the game, so I don't care about the characters. LOL. Yeah, just fuck it. I'm just gonna be a nice guy and we'll see how it goes. No. What do you mean no? Me confused. Should probably click something. So I'm gonna wait 2 seconds out of respect. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. Okay, I'm gonna click. Let him die alone. You know what? Feedback is feedback. I will answer.
You really think that?
Yep, that is minus. Let go. It's not his question. Because no matter how much I turn it around in my head, the gap between the man standing in front of me and the idea I have of him just won't connect. Oh. Sorry guy, I already clicked. My bad. Not that the gesture will go a long way with him. Something in his demeanor tells me he's not the kind of man who readily accepts such when they are given to him. Rather, he feels entitled from the get-go, as so long as they're standing in front of him, he expects it to be there, demands for it when he sees it in you. And after all those insults we've hurled at each other, I don't think it'll matter much to him if I point out the ugly truths or brandish on his face. As expected, it doesn't throw him off in the least, but he's merely raising a questioning brow.
About what?
About what you told Kylie. And don't you think she's a bit too young for that kind of talk?
Kylie's 6, Daisy, not an infant who still needs help changing her nappy.
Damn.
At her age, she can already handle more than that. Besides, it's better to nip this whole thing at the bud. You know, before she starts thinking that a man's ego defines her self-worth.
Luke makes no sense to me, but I'll talk about Luke at the end of this part of the story, I guess.
I certainly don't need someone else to define me. Why should any godchild of mine do?
Sorry, Gaia. I don't know what's with you and the lag. It might just be my stream in general, though. Who knows?
So, do I really think that? Yes. Yes, very much so. Why shouldn't I?
Luke, what the fucker. Demon movies do have accelerated growth, so that does make sense.
Alright, I get it. I'm sorry. You just didn't seem the type to me.
I tend to end the conversation right there and simply go my way. I no longer have any business here, and our deputy principal's stories sound more enticing the longer I stand here. With the matter of Luke's almost ranting, I almost have a feeling this won't end if I say more. Though thinking about it, I should have left the second he had taken the box from me. Naturally, he doesn't get the hint.
The type. And what, pray tell, would my type be according to your standards, woman?
It's probably Flay Souls. I gotta head back to work, but aww, it was a lot of fun. It was always a pleasure to have you. I hope you have a good day at work, and thanks once again for stopping by. I appreciate it.
The sort I'd happily bury alive.
Well, would you look at what's coming out of those pretty little lips?
capable of forging a mirror.
Watch the language, Daisy. You're supposed to be teaching children. What would ever happen to this nation?
You know what I mean.
It's been real. Aw, have a good night. Mwah.
Oh, and you somehow find that tidbit funny.
A little, I admit. That sort of wisdom is the last thing I expected to come from you. I mean, look at yourself. Pampered and pompous to the last hair. You've probably never been to this side of Luxborn until a few days ago.
Daisy, just because I'm dressed miles better than the average bloke you see every day, doesn't mean I'm incapable of thinking on your level. Actually, I'm more surprised we aren't on the same page on this. I expected better from someone with enough balls to hit a random stranger with a bloody book. In public, mind you. Someone my goddaughter looks up to, even. Guess you can't have everything in this world,
Well, of course I'm...
Oh, I get it. Running on presupposed notions, aren't we? My, what a dangerous thing to practice for a teacher.
Damn.
It doesn't have anything to do with...
What is it this time, I wonder? Oh, wait, don't say it, let me guess. What do those random gossips in this bloody city usually say? Oh, right. You probably think I'd go with clingy, spoiled kind, didn't you?
What? Where did that... how did you even come to that conclusion?
Oh, don't lie to me now, Daisy. But just so we're clear, if I wanted an arm decor, I'd have gone with the first brainless munter I picked up on the streets. I have standards, you know.
I haven't even said a word. I was just asking what you thought of it.
Oh, but you were thinking about it or else you wouldn't have asked. Might as well get it out of the way,
You are impossible.
So they say. Tell me something I didn't know, Daisy.
You... I really have no idea how anyone with half a brain can put up with you. Let me speak with your wife sometime. I'd love to ask her.
That last remark just came out. There might be a silver of truth in it, but I shouldn't have phrased it like that. Even my own standards over the kind of person I'm talking to was still quite rude. An apology is already on my throat, but the minute I open my mouth, all of what I've prepared myself to say dissipates. They're really trying to do some romance thing. I see it, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sold on it. Not that it's not happening, that I'm sold on it personally. Lost in the moment in front of me. Sorry, aggravating. Once again, it's probably gonna be Rebecca's entire chapter's aggravation. He has turned gaze outside, staring at some point past the buildings, blocking the view in the sky, equally lost in his thoughts. He's a vexing man under some standards, however, in this moment, the morning light streaming from the window leans his features a certain air. I apologize. Thank you. Softer, less severe than what he often flaunts. I might as well be looking at a different man. There's a tender note in his voice when he finds it, the words muttered under his breath, not intended for anyone but himself. Nevertheless, it reaches my ear, unintentional as it may be.
You're right. She deserves someone far better than me.
All that talk about Southward makes some sense now. This isn't some profound knowledge he pulls out of his ass. He has come about because he's already been there, likely still stuck in the middle of it. Preaching about your own experience is easier after all. Less room for mistakes, more of it for a dose of self-loathing. What a complicated man. Just when you thought you've already figured him out, he says one thing and says the other. Guy. People like him are the most difficult to gauge, far harder to understand. Yet, it may be exactly for this reason why some are so easily charmed by him. It's the mystery that catches them, of wanting to find out what underneath that bravado. I won't count myself among those, yet his winning personality isn't exactly my cup of tea. But sometimes once you get a glimpse of what's beyond that machismo, emphasizing with the man isn't such a steep hill to climb. If the comfortable silence we now share tells anything, that is. Perhaps it's as close a friendship as we can get. Several insults flung around with a few shared silences in between, and it's not exactly a bad thing. He isn't exactly a bad guy either, despite the awkward start we've had. Maybe it's for this reason that I can't resist throwing in a little comment to lift his mood before leaving.
You know, Luke, you're not such a bad person.
Is that supposed to make me feel better? I'm touched, Daisy.
Take it how you will, but a little attitude change would help. A lot.
Oh, bollocks. Right, of course. Let me know when you're done with your lecture, ma'am.
And you can probably start by not leaving your wife out while you're having some quality time with your goddaughter. Who knows? Maybe that'll help change how the child sees her.
Where did you even get the idea I'm leaving my wife out? Have you ever even met?
Machismo? I have never actually heard this word in my entire life, so...
No,
Interesting.
but I did see her with you two last time.
Is a Spanish term talking about a specific type of hyper-masculine culture. Explains why I never see it. Thank you, though. His indifferent expression quickly dissolves into a confused scowl while I meet it with a matching perplexity. It's only been 2 days. Surely his memory isn't that.
What? When was this?
At the cafe. After you left, she was sitting right beside you. Kylie was at the back and you were driving.
Daisy, are you sure you haven't accidentally hit yourself with your own book? Because that damn thing's quite big. And I'm really getting worried about you. It has only been a few days, and concussions can be dangerous. I suggest you have that checked.
Well, you asked. I just answered. It's pretty rude to make her wait like that, by the way.
How can I make her wait when she's not even with us?
What?
It was just Kylie and I that night.
Now you're just pulling my leg.
Luke exhales, long drawn out, his impatience rapidly changing the companionable air around us. In fact, I tense. I suddenly slipped into another minefield. Any chat I've had with him so far has been like this. Why this still surprises me escapes me, but above my worries, offending the man is my own bewilderment. I remember well enough what I saw last night, yet he says something completely different.
Wifey was out with Kylie's mummy that night. She wasn't with us. How do you think I ended up on babysitting duty?
But in the front seat. And Kylie's...
Miss B!
Oh no, kill me! Kylie's sobs reach my ear first, and her familiar weight returns around my waist again. Hot tears seep into my blouse. She buries her face in it, her arms winding tightly around me. Luke and I briefly exchange worried glances, her own lips shut tight with concern. Her cries are soft enough not to attract much attention. Much of the visitors have been ushered inside the rooms by now anyway. Is Ghost! Spooky not wife! Riding in car! Those that still linger, though, watches our little group with great interest and concern. If I don't get a better handle situation, I have a feeling Luke will start yelling at everyone soon. Kneeling, I gently pull the girl away from me, cupping her face and wiping her tears, creating little trails on her cheeks. Her mouth is drawn in a miserable pout. She peers up at me.
All right, Kylie. Calm down. What happened?
It's my friend!
Is she mean?
That's a little too vague, Munchkin.
Sorry. Ooh, that was
Let
funny.
her speak, Luke. Who is it, Kylie? Melody? Or was it the other one?
Takano, was it?
Yeah.
Did the two of you fight?
She nods and immediately clams up after, letting her sobs communicate the story instead. Or as much as shaking shoulders can tell me. Right behind me, Luke is a nervous huff while he shifts on his feet. He must not be used to handling children crying. What a wuss.
Sweetie, I won't be able to help you if you don't tell me what happened.
Seconds pass before she responds again. Why doesn't she act like this with her friend Isabella? She can clearly talk to crying people. The tears are already gone when she finally musters up the strength to talk. Her cries subsiding to mere sniffles. Yeah, Luke, da-da-da, helpful Luke.
I wanted to give her the rest of the jelly babies, but she won't come out.
Where? Where is she?
In the little girl's room.
Is she still there?
Another nod.
She won't say what's wrong. I kept asking her, but she told me to go away. Career Day's going to start soon. I saw the prizes Miss Alice will give us for good. She's gonna miss it.
Is that what you told her?
Yeah, she won't listen. She won't even take the jelly babies. After he saved it for her, too. She and Luke wanted to eat the red ones, but I told him it's not for him. Miss Pink, can you talk to her? Tell her to come out. And I'm really upset with her.
Because she's a bitch. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm on your side of that one, guy.
Ah, that's a little childish argument then. Times like this, I'm glad I teach teenagers mature enough for petty squabbles. I do love being around children. I wouldn't mind having one or two of my own in the future, but it takes a whole different level of patience to teach several of them. I honestly admire my colleagues who willingly took the challenge. Normally I'll leave this for their homeroom teachers to fix, but I can't ignore the imploring look she shoots me. Oops. It's another weakness I have to steer myself against before I ever think of having one of my own. For now, I give in to it.
Okay, tell me where she is, sweetie.
Sighing, I stand up and gesture for her to lead the way. I feel like it's gonna lead to a ghost moment, so I'm gonna do this thing called save. Luke's face is out of a bed. He's terrible. Honestly, that's the impression I always had of him. Even though the more I hang with him, the more that has changed. Yes, I assume it wasn't toward Kylie, though that would be really fucking funny still. Even with the small distance in between, his apprehension is palpable, understandably so. No one wants to be caught in the middle of a children's bed. But in the end, this is all part of my job. I can't just shy away from it, can I? Kylie escorts us to an adjacent hall. At this hour, the corridors and rooms lining its sides are empty. Save for the gentle rustling of leaves and the twittering of birds outside, the tapping of our feet against the floor, the whole area stays eerily quiet. Not unusual, though. This is the part of the building reserved for club activities at the end of the school day, and with the rest of the school busy with another event, it's only natural for it to be this deserted. Come afternoon, right after class, it's once again filled with people. For the time being, I focus on the toilets at the far end, heading straight to it. Luke stays behind, opting to wait at the end of this drama instead, obviously not wanting to deal with another person's skit. Also, he should just not be in the girls' bathroom. Makes total sense. Meanwhile, Kaylee follows right after me, usually silent as we approach the ladies' room. Sometimes before we made the turn out the hallway, she stops sniffling and starts singing a tune under her breath.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down,
What?
falling down.
What?
London Bridge is falling down.
Yeah.
My fair lady.
Say it again. What? Don't they always repeat on loop? Is the one time it doesn't repeat on loop? Oh my god. You let them both chill and then help them through their feelings. It's not that bad. Yeah, I feel it. But, you know, adults. This is for good adults who act like children, so I feel like children easier. You do with a lot of adults, I'll tell you that. Probably to brace or calm myself, or probably this is the only way to prepare to pull her friend out of her sulk. Certainly reminds me of another person. I make no remarks of it, however. It's all part of growing up, they say. Let her learn. The door is slightly ajar from when we get to it, and from inside, the sobs of the girl echo weakly, barely audible, even in the kind of hush. Pretty sure that's not the cry of Kylie's friend. Ghost shit is coming. She did this ghost shit before to Zach. She's basically the ghost. I'm pretty convinced. I'll save again. I'll save into this slot. Turns out Kylie's not the only one upset about this. Despite the situation, her smile forms in my lips as I call her. A smile forms in my lips as I call her.
Hello? Hello there? You're Kylie's friend, aren't you?
This game's gonna fucking try to jump scare me, and I don't appreciate it, but whatever.
Melody, is it? She's looking for you.
Children can be so amusing sometimes. Granted, it could be exasperating, especially around this age, but the endearing things about them will outweigh those. All you need is enough level of patience. Ghost.
Career day's about to start, too. You'll have to come out, or you're going to be really late for it. Miss Alice won't be happy if one of her kids isn't there. I heard she brought little gifts for everyone who'll behave.
She definitely did this to Zach. I definitely remember.
Don't you want to receive one?
However, her cries showed no signs of abating. They only grew louder. Did she sing that song? I thought she sang a song similar. Well, you're probably right, actually. But I thought it looped, right? I definitely said what to that song before. God. Not close to a wail. Alarming, regardless.
Are you okay?
From where I'm standing, it almost sounds like she's in some kind of pain, but it's not impossible. Crying children in the bathroom. So funny. They do that at times, hiding what ails them for fear of reprimand. My mouse is not moving, and this is actually really spooky, and this is intentional. Sweats. Okay, there we go. I was actually really scared for a second. I was like, why is my mouse frozen? What the fuck? Yeah, I'm gonna save, just in case. The part they looped it for sure. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I wasn't sure it was that song, or it was a different song that looped. It's like that, coaxing her out might be useless. It also makes sense why she chose the loo farthest from the classroom. Wasting no time, I just forget to wait and amble towards the door, calmly so I don't alarm her. At the same time, a distinct sense of deja vu hits me. Okay. I've been in this mission before, behind a door, with someone crying to the other side. My calls ignored as their cries grow into a wail. Just this past week, actually. So it was great. My mouth seriously did, for some reason, not move. I have no idea why. Even so, being in the same situation before doesn't bring any confusion or any comfort. I'm putting up for the child beside me is the thick undercurrent of worry trickled into my stomach. I take one last breath and I nudge open the door. It all happens in the span of a second. I don't make it past 2 steps into the room. Her cries abruptly stop. Light footsteps shuffle behind me, coming to a halt at the door. My heart skips a beat. And when I turn...
Kylie?
Miss Pink? Miss Pink? Why didn't you help her?
My whole body becomes motionless at the sight of her, words catching in my throat and heart pounding rapidly against my chest. This is Kylie, I'm sure of it. Yet nothing in the manner she speaks, or the way she tilts her head in question, carries the youthful innocent vibe she always brings with her. I'm sorry, God. As if I was merely looking at a dead, hollow imitation of the child.
Can't you hear her? She's asking for your help.
But it's not those that trigger a memory. It's those chilling eyes, calling, beckoning.
Why won't you listen to her?
All at once, the memory returns to me. A tide that has receded and now returns to shore with an overwhelming force, carrying images of a single moment from days ago. Of a world passing by in a blur, and of features I could barely discern under the little light there was. Not even a week passed. In this minute, while I keep my eyes trained on the child before me, they return with such unbearable clarity. The source of the revolving screen. There's no horrid wounds this time, no blood streaming down a pale face, thank heavens. Those lips contorted into a small, twisted smile. They breathe the venom I've never experienced to ever see in a child, sending tiny pinpricks of dread crawling down my limbs and winding up my neck.
You're a bad person. People like you deserve to die.
I can't breathe. Those whispers and laughters again. Judging, mocking, taunting. Each scathing word ringing sharp and true against my ears. My throat closes in. My whole body tenses. A chill settles at the tip of my fingers, every digit gone rigid from the cold. Demon baby true form. Why are you watching this in a dark room? Yeah, the art's really good in this game. With every single draw of breath, any struggle of air or freedom, the coil is wrapped around my body tightened, dragging me down. A gradual torturous descent into another bottomless abyss. On and on, and on, until I lose touch with myself and the world.
Help me!
Until darkness claims me and, unexpectedly, a note. This is harsh and piercing, cutting through the thick stupor and shattering the haze without warning.
Are you ladies done with your business here? I don't have all morning to wait for you two.
Children say the shit to me. to everyone. My eyes snap open and the words shift into place with a ragged grasp. When I glance up, a different set of eyes greet me.
Are you okay, Miss Pink?
No anger. No vile hatred in them. Just plain, sincere concern. Bit by bit, I become aware of my surroundings and myself as warmth steadily slips back to me. Aww, I hope you get better, Nico. Have a good night. Thanks for coming to the stream. Make poor choices, I'm lazy at the sunset. I just didn't turn on the light. You know what? I enjoy the horror immersion, so good on you, Gaia. I've reached out to the nearby counter to steady myself at some point. My knuckles have gone white with how rigid my grip on it is. Kisses, Nico. Mwah. It's over now, yet the tension has left my body. My heart still hammers hard against my cheeks in an erratic rhythm, and my breathing still comes in short, shallow bursts. Before me, Kaylee fumbles with her hands, utterly unsure of what to do to an adult. In what's probably a laughable state.
Did you get sick? I'll call Tio, okay? Stay here and don't move.
No. No need. Just leave me alone.
Tio will know how to fix you. Oh, wait, okay?
I wish I could speak reassurance to her, but I can't shake it off. The dread is there, twisting at my insides in anticipation. Of what? I'm no longer sure. Pushing myself off the corner, I break off into a run. Brushing off the anxious look Kylie gives me when I gently push her way my way out. With a furrow in Luke's brows, I stumble into him outside. Whatever they saw on my face, I care not to know. Bloody hell, I don't even understand what's happening anymore. Okay, that was a moment. I will say, I'm surprised the ghost didn't directly appear.
I have comments to make on Luke. I don't know if I'll see him again though, so I don't know if I should wait. I'll just say him now, whatever. Luke, as a character, I understand why he's popular, but I feel like it's really weird to give redeeming moments to a character as shitty as him, if that makes sense. Like, he can have 4 of his 20 shitty qualities and still be super shitty and redeemable, if that makes sense. Oh well, anyways, back to the story, I guess. The tremors continue long after the last of my classes have ended. Sports day! Fuck yeah! Jablo. Daina. Slangloid? I don't know what that is. Yangloid? Whatever. The tremors continue long after the last of my classes have ended. Although none of my students have commented on him, I've caught a few sharing anxious glances every time a pen slips from my hand or my shoulders tense, whatever called. Oh no, I don't think it's ending for a little bit. I'm at least going for another hour, I believe. However unusual it must be for them to see the normally composed Miss Gales become a bundle of nerves. Even the most boisterous ones have given me less grief today. You think being on my 4th cup of tea would provide some sort of comfort? Or is it my 5th? Sorry, excuse me. What's that? Egad, why does this counting matter now? The fact that I can't easily shake off this time should tell me something. The last time this happened, I passed it off as some last of my part, after having been sick the week before.
And it is a natural conclusion.
Those are just stories, a centuries-old lore passed by the locals to keep children in line. What place doesn't have those? One of my Da's books even went as far as to describe them as part of Isabella's culture. Tree giants, women who fed an unborn children straight from a mother's womb, or hell, there's even one story about a demon baby. Oh shit, that's the word, the demon baby! All folklore that has never been smidge of truth in it, most probably like told to scare off natives there back in the old days. Much like everyone in every other place. The world is more universal than people care to think. But looking at it from where I'm standing now, after staring right into the eyes of that woman, after all the things I've been hearing and feeling, perhaps there's really more to that bloody letter than some awful Halloween.
Perhaps Isabella's right all along.
Oh, about fucking time, Rebecca. A terrible thing if true. Though that thought doesn't linger long, thankfully. Thankfully? Soon, the ringing of my mobile takes my attention away from it. An unfamiliar name flashes before me once the light shines up, and my brow knits together. Mary Ann McAuliffe. Staring hard at the screen, I try to remember when I've heard this person on my contact list. It takes a moment before it clicks. My eyes zeroes in on the book lying wide open on my table. I loaned out from the library almost a week ago. I met the woman there by sheer coincidence. A fellow history buff, apparently. She told you her occupation, never mind. We were there after the same book, but in the end she gave it to me under the condition that I return it, because I call her once I'm done. To be honest, I completely forgot about it until now. And well, I haven't really taken a peek at it until today. Normally I'd be done with the whole volume of this size a few days after taking it out. About 1 or 2, depending on how busy I am. Finding a chance to sit down and read through it has been more difficult than I anticipated. One moment I'm busy simply grading worksheets, attending a movie premiere, the next there's someone suddenly inviting me out for one reason or another. Days later, a friend showing up in her flat. Right after worrying reports pop up in the local news, there simply isn't enough time to breathe and get a grip on things. I've been flipping through the pages of said book moments ago, though never really reading anything and merely hoping for distraction. And to no avail. My phone gets another ring, and this time I do not hesitate to answer.
Hello! Here I was starting to wonder if it was a bad time to call. Is it?
No, not at all. I dismissed my last class a few minutes ago. I'm pretty much free for the rest of the afternoon. Unless something comes up. Is this about last time? The book?
Not really. I was hoping to ask you about some other thing.
Oh, sure. What about?
You grew up in this city, didn't you?
It's a peculiar question to ask someone you've just met, but I answer her nevertheless. I'm more curious where she's heading with this by starting with that.
Born and raised. 3rd-generation migrant. Why do you ask?
So, you must be familiar with the local lore. The
stories?
Quite. If I'm going to teach about history, I'd like to think I am, yeah? But a family friend would be a better person to ask. If you want, I can contact him for you.
No. Let's just keep this thing between us, okay? It's nothing too big. Alright. I really don't know how else to put this without sounding a bit crazy. But things have been really, odd. Do you remember the mansion I mentioned back when we met? My current project?
In hindsight, I should have expected her to lead to this. She must not have lived here long, if she's just asking about this now. I didn't take a week with Isabella when she arrived, but that's Isabella, superstitious down to the last hair. Though, it wouldn't be too far to think Marianne only started thinking about this recently. She's working with the damn house itself. I must admit, even I'm curious now, despite living here for so many years and having so many chances to look it up before.
The Ermengarde mansion, yes?
Yes, that one. And, the thing is... Oh dear, this is a bad idea. You know what? Just forget I ever called you about this. It must have been the sunny weather. It's making me sick and see stupid things.
See things?
No, wait. It's alright. I don't mind.
There's a moment of pause before she responds again. She's right in that it's a silly thing to ask about, especially between what I assume two people who are pretty grounded on their beliefs with regards to these things. I won't blame her if she hesitates.
I can't believe I'm asking you about this.
It's fine. Why don't you just think of it as some form of research?
Well, alright. But after this, we're going to forget we ever had this talk.
My lips will be sealed. Now, what is it about the mansion?
Just, what do you know about it? The general gist. The place is past. What happened to the owners?
Too much sun in the England, people get Damn!
Anything you can give me.
Let's see. To start off,
I do my best to give a concise summary from the time the house was commissioned 400 years ago and who had built it, up to the point it got deserted after the last heir's death, and the deed was passed on to Ermengarde's nearest relatives. Frankly, if it weren't for those urban legends persisting, the house would have already faded into obscurity long ago. Demolished even. Those are all nothing she probably hasn't heard before yet. There's dissatisfaction in her tone once I finish.
That's all there really is to it?
as far as I know, there's this little bit I forgot to mention about Lady Charlotte Ermengarde's death, but most of those are just theories. Aside from that, this is really everything we've been teaching all these years. Should there be anything more?
No mention of any other weird stuff? Other crazy stories? Or a letter of some
Dun
sort?
dun dun. My blood runs cold. My memory has just been sold. Angel is the centerfold. Angel is the Sorry. I love that song. Any warmth and comfort the tea I drank has given me prior has instantly been drained out of me. The phone creaks softly as my light holds onto it. It turns into a firm grip. This whole letter bullshit is starting to turn into more of a coincidence.
None that I've heard or read of. What does a letter have to do with this?
Oh, no. It was just something I came across.
I miss Karaoke Guy at Realist Talks. There's a karaoke bar like 12 minutes from my house that I can't attend to because of, I don't know, pandemic or something. It's just started downpouring. It was downpouring here like a moment ago. It just stopped actually. So maybe it went all the way up north in 2 seconds. Who knows? Good luck though. Let's get a share of you. Aw, I'm sorry to hear.
Ignore it. Random thoughts, you know? By the way, I need to run. Thanks for answering my questions.
She ends the call abruptly with only a clipped goodbye, leaving my mind heavy with even more thoughts. I miss karaoke too, Beth. 100%. We should all get together and do karaoke sometime. You know, maybe like post-pandemic, but, you know, a thought. The mood around my classroom has gone considerably denser in light of what little I've gleaned from that conversation. Yes, you're welcome. Take it away from me. So we had a hurricane this weekend apparently, but it like missed Tampa, which is good for me, no complaints. But before that hurricane hit, it rained every day for 24 days in a row. So I'm very glad the hurricane finally passed. I don't think Marianne's lying about her intent. Her interest is genuine. I give her that, but she's left out a lot of things. I get the sense she's only asked because something's happening around her too. And if she hasn't mentioned the letter, I probably wouldn't have made the connection. I love how she believes Marianne over the phone, a random stranger, than her own supposed best friend, who literally confessed to her in dreaded fear that she's about to die from a ghost.
Just what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Of course, there's still a lot of confusing details in this. All of these are just assumptions. No concrete conclusion to be formed with what we have. And if we want to find out what we're really dealing with, I think Marianne's right. There might be something more to these stories. As absurd as it sounds, the very place that gives us that letter might tell us something beyond what we know. And tomorrow night, I have a few hours of that chance at the homewarming party. Totally not an exciting thought, but since the place is privately owned now, I can't just wander around. Also, real casual that you also be like, oh yeah, we had a hurricane. I mean, now that I live in Florida, I actually feel like it's a real casual sentence, sadly. I've already been through 2 hurricanes. Only one of them has been major, though, which is the one on Saturday. It's not even enough to keep the dread at bay, as I step out of the room, ready to put an end to this day. And I will say, rainstorms in Florida are a little bit worse than rainstorms in Buffalo. Not by like a significant margin, don't get me wrong, but they're pretty bad. However, all these good vibes disappear into thin air when I run headfirst into Luke. There's really something in this man. Josh, what the fuck? Florida, baby! We did it, boys! Excuse me. Oh, I almost burped. There we go. Regardless of how much my opinion of him has changed over the span of a few hours, he simply bursts through every good impression people have of him without care or thought. He doesn't even need to open his mouth. His mere presence does it. In all honesty, I think he's the kind of guy only a mother could love.
You're still here?
Obviously. Who do you think standing in front of you?
An ass.
Oh, come on, Daisy. You've done better than that. Losing your touch?
I do actually like their banter, and I hate myself for it. Ugh.
Luke, I don't have time for this. I'm heading home, and your face is the last thing I want to see before I leave. What do you want?
Belated, I notice his hand. Partially raised, almost poised for a knock. At the slight lift of my eyebrow, he quickly drops it in his side and turns to Kylie. She's standing a few steps away from him, holding her hand behind her back and towing at something on the floor with the tip of her shoe. He then proceeds to make vague gestures at me and the child. He resembles a fish flopping for air with the way he's moving his arms, though I think he's trying to urge her to speak up.
Munchkin, I thought you wanted to tell her something.
You do it, Teal.
This wasn't my idea, darling.
Don't worry. I won't tell Tia what you told me the other day. And this morning.
Luke exhales, rolling his eyes at the ceiling and maybe praying to the universe to grant him more patience. He knows a losing battle when he sees one. He may act worse than a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum at times, but he's no match for an actual child. Nothing better than a severe dose of his own medicine, huh? Once his frustration has been promptly let out, he points a rude finger at me. I do my best to stare the offending digit down, but I can already hear the demand before it evens out of his lips.
You, come with us.
What makes you think I will?
Ooh.
Because little Rugrat here is upset and worried, and it's your bloody fault. I've no idea what happened this morning, but if you don't come with us, I won't be hearing the end of it from her. So do me a favor, Daisy, and just be glad I'm inviting you.
Man, Luke is just a gem.
You're asking for a favor, and you can't be bothered to be polite? I don't know. It's been a really busy day for me. I kind of miss my couch.
Daisy, you just
Just say yes.
A pause follows, almost too dramatic. Unreasonable. I think I missed something really fast. Afterwards, his face twists into something between a grimace and a smile. As it happens, he appears to be in a lot of physical pain. You think a man is getting an aneurysm by simply being polite.
Please?
Tio said it'll be his treat.
What? I said no such thing, Munchkin. I only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
I promise I'll be quiet the next time I visit.
Oh, alright, but just one meal, and make it the cheapest.
He and Ashton will get along famously on that department. On a different front, the offer of a free dinner does sound enticing, however half-hearted given it is. Must be as Kylie has wisely put on her puppy eyes, and by the second I find all my choices slipping away from
See,
me.
Miss Pink? It'll be fun. You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Oh, well,
My mobile buzzes from my pocket, cutting me mid-sentence, and for a second I'm spared from the act of giving an answer I'll regret either way. Fishing the gadget out, I wave a hand at him and excuse myself, but a disgruntled expression is on Luke's face before I turn away. I'll be lying if I say it didn't amuse me. He's eager to be done with it as I am, but what can I do? Checking, a message from Ashton shows up. Hey Becca, I'll be around Samwell this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella's place after. See ya. Oh. Just the usual. Unlike what he does to Zachary, Ashton has the decency to let us know when he's dropping by or he's in the area for some business. From the way it's phrased, it sounds to be the latter. Either way, I'm glad he's at least aware of that battery. Not that Isabella's ever going to let him leave the building unscathed if he ever pulls the same stunt he does with the other man. I cringe to imagine what she'll do to him. Sighing, I slip the gadget back in my pocket, but looking up to see Luke's utter impatience on my face, I now face a different dilemma. The two of them are still waiting, and knowing the kind of person Luke is, this is already a grand gesture of goodwill coming from him. All to please his godchild. It's not on the side, it's easy to tell he's really fond of Kylie from his actions alone. I kinda hate to ruin that.
Well, Daisy, we're waiting here.
On the other hand, there's Ash. His message doesn't exactly imply he's going to wait, or he's expecting me to be there, but there are matters I hope discussed them in person, to put it simply. Housewarming parties matter. Well, with inviting Isabella out of the question, I only have Zachary and Ashton. Though the foreman's already made it clear he'll be busy this weekend, well, Ashton's been my first choice from the start. Even if he detests gatherings like this, it's company that counts. We can be miserable together. But that's the problem, isn't it? He hates them, and it's likely his answer will be flat out no. I'd rather not hear that. If I semi girl agrees to it, he'll probably be sulking the whole party. Not really a tough choice when you put it like that, still. Oh, this actually sounds like a super important choice. Like, it sounds like a huge branching moment right now. Holy shit. Sorry, I got distracted. So I actually have no idea what decision to pick, because I'm actually, honestly speaking, very interested in either. Because on one hand, if I go with Ash, and Ash definitely wants to go to the party, because he wants to investigate the rights, I feel like discussing it, I trust your decision because I didn't get what I think. Thank you, God. But at the same time, I feel like if I don't go with Luke, something bad will happen. At the same time, I don't like Luke, but at the same time, I do like their banter. So I'm in a moral dilemma. Okay, hold on. Just give me 2 seconds to think. Sorry, silence, not good for stream. Me bad streaming, me understand. Okay. So I think if I pick the top choice, it's going to be Rebecca x Zach.
Not Zach. Ashton. Chill, take your time. Thank you. Sorry, I'm bad at branching path choices, especially because I'm only going to do one run of this. Other things? Choices. I would morally feel bad, though. Oh, no. I do have a vote for other things. At the same time, though. Kylie is evil. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna hang out with Ash. Though when you look at it more closely, it is a difficult decision to make. First and foremost, no matter where I look at this, it is inappropriate to some degree. Disregarding Luke's honest intentions, I've known the man for a grand total of 2 days, including today. If I'm going to be thoroughly specific, I'll give it a grand total of around 10 hours. By all means, that's not enough reason for me to join them for dinner, even if he says Kylie is the one who requested it. To other people, it won't appear as innocent as he makes it out to be, and there's one ugly thing in the city is this place is penance for inane gossip. Another spark, it'll spread like wildfire. Who knows how far it'll go, how many ears it'll reach. And what if Ashton hears about it? I'd rather not think about the consequences of that. I didn't even think of that, actually, so this might be the good choice. I've got enough on my plate lately as it is, but being at the center of a rumor mill along with this man, in whatever form it takes, sends unpleasant chills down my spine. My answer must have shown in my face as Kylie's smile immediately dissolved into a pout. No!
You're not gonna join us, are you?
Maybe. Oh, fuck.
I'm sorry, Kylie. I'd love to, but I have other things to do. Another time, maybe? A friend just texted me about something urgent, and he wants to meet tonight.
It's not a lie.
Just say it's a date, Daisy. The little rugrat will understand. She's not an infant. No need for blatant lies.
Damn. He instantly crawls up my face at his baseless insinuations. I can speak English, I swear. Oh, what I would give for another chance to put a real dent in his skull.
What even gave you that idea? And even if it is, why do you care? Stop sticking your nose in other people's affairs.
She's so weak to him. Like, not in, like, the cute, like, hi, she's weak to him. Like, and by him, I mean Ashton. Sorry, not Luke. Like, every time she mentions a date, she goes all red. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, your face says it all, woman. You think I won't recognize those longing looks?
There isn't a look, There isn't a look, all right?
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night, Daisy.
You already have a story written inside that head of yours, don't you?
Oh, please. It's not that interesting. The color of your face does suit you, though. Matches the hair. Well, come on now, Munchkin. I'll just buy you an extra glass of that parfait.
With extra strawberries?
I'll get you a basket full if you want. As long as you behave. And no complaints if they don't have enough syrup again. Deal?
Deal. Have fun with your date, Miss Pink.
Oh, they got him. Luke's already leading the child away before I can correct her. Upon reaching the end of the hall, however, he does miss the chance to shoot me another one of those infuriating winks. To really think women enjoy those, I'd sue them for harassment if I could. Though I must admit, the two of them walking together hand in hand is an endearing sight in itself. It's something to mull over, along with every confusing and frustrating thing about this guy. Some other time, though. Ashton's waiting. Okay, so, now that I'm finally done with the Luke scene, let me save really fast. Let me see this. Okay, I lost Luke points, whatever, fuck it. So let me just spitball for a second. I'm just talking to myself. It might be very uninteresting. That's, you know, Gucci. I can understand why. So I know of a popularity poll for this game. It has no spoilers, don't worry. I don't know anything about the game. But I know, like, Luke is not the least popular character. People actually like Luke for some reason. I never understood why. I still don't really understand why, but I do kind of get it. Like,
Luke has that charisma. His banter is kind of funny when it's not really fucking racist or mean. Like listening to the other romanticized Luke is just like, bitch, you never seen a racist person who treats us. Yeah. So it's my biggest complaint of Luke's characterization. So I think I know what they're going for, right? Like Luke is clearly a huge asshole who is secretly has like a warm side in him, but because he's grown up in a really cutthroat, ruthless environment, he fucking is super unlikable because of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get what they're going for, but they gave him, I think, too many flaws. And him being racist, while makes total sense for environment and time and age and race and so on and so forth, just doesn't do anything for the character besides making me, like, not want to like him. Like, I already didn't like Luke. You didn't have to make him racist. And now that you made him racist, why is he racist? Besides it making sense as a character development thing. Like, him being racist against Zack, there's many reasons why he would not want, he cannot like Zack. Like, he could be very overprotective of his wife. That is something very a character of Luke, and also a reason why he would snap at Zack. Him being racist just doesn't make sense. Well, let me rephrase that. Him being racist is just like an added flaw that doesn't really change much of his character. It's the point is to make him not likable. But the reverse is, I think the game wants you to feel sympathy for him because he has that moment where he has inferiority for his wife, and and he's good with children, positive traits. But I don't feel anything for him because I know secretly his flaws heavily outweigh his pros to the point where I can't look past them. I can't sympathize for a murderer's if a murderer is nice to children, I'm still gonna think of them as a murderer, not as a person nice to children. So why even add the nice to children arc? You know what I'm saying? Like, why give him redeeming points if you're gonna give him such huge flaws that I can't look past? And it's not just the racism, obviously. Like, he's racist, he's sexist, he's very demeaning and doesn't remember names. And once again, just one of these flaws, maybe not the racism one, but just one of these flaws, and you give him the sympatheticness, and I could be like, he's kind of like an anti-hero in that, not anti-hero, well, fucking flawed villain, you know what I mean? Like, I could sympathize in a way where I'd be like, you know what, he's a huge douche, but I do like his arc with kids, and I do feel for him at certain points. It's just really hard for me to feel for him because I know secretly he's just really, really fucking vile. So I'm like, why even give me sympathy for him? What's the point? But yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry for rambling. Let's keep going. His car's headlights must have been left turned on, illuminating the otherwise empty parking lot. If it's like that, then it's probably going to be a quick visit. Though our landlady will probably have a few hundred words to say about this before letting it go. Not many in this complex own a vehicle anyways, to warrant the space frequently used, owing it to this area's proximity to downtown Luxport. No one's going to be disturbed if one car stays parked and its lights on for a few minutes. I just wanted to redeem him so bad, he's like a fucking Bryce from 13 years. Once again, you can write the script in a way where I do feel for Luke in that moment, right? Like, if he didn't have so many vile attributes, then I could still hate him. I can still hate him, but also be like, I sympathize with his relation with his wife, or I totally get why he has an inferiority complex. So, how would I do it? I would just remove some of his flaws. He's just too many flaws for me to really sympathize. I can't feel bad for him because he's super racist. But his racism doesn't lead to any plot point. His racism doesn't further the plot in any way. If he removed the words that he said about Zack's race with any other words that aren't race related, so far from my perspective, the plot doesn't change. So why did they include it? Well, the reason you would include it in a script rating sense is to make Luke very unlikable. But he's already very unlikable, so I'm like, you didn't have to give him the -10. And if you do give him the -10, that's also fine. The point of Luke is to be unlikable, I totally get it. But then why are you trying to make me sympathize for him, And that's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming. Imagine if you had a happy ending. Oh, scary thoughts.
Well, see, I don't know any of the endings, so like maybe he does, and it's weird. And what's it? Maybe I'm thinking too much into this, right? Like, I like to think, I like to talk about visual novels. So if you like that stuff too, hella woke. If you don't like that, I totally get it too. It is quite a long ramble otherwise, so my bad. Right now, though, it lasts a pleasant company while I idle out inside my own car, tumbling the invitation's fine print, flipping it over and over until the motions begin familiar enough. Thank you. Listen, like, I like to talk about plots because we're spending hours upon hours. Like, I'm gonna spend at least a day of my life playing this game. Like, when you add all the hours together, let's talk about it. That's like half the fun, I feel. Thank you. Yeah, listen, I like to think a lot about plots. Like, that's why I like VA11 a lot. We're here together. Why not talk about it, right? Like, I don't just want to play the game and ignore it the next day. I think it would be a lot of fun. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I really do appreciate it. What should I say? There's a very high chance he'll say no, but on the off chance he'll accept it, what should I do? Fears, doubts, questions I haven't asked before, and more often than not, the anxiety is because of him. 17 years ago, I've been in the same position, a different letter in hand. Somehow nothing has changed. Perhaps if he noticed how I've always felt about him years ago, I wouldn't be in this predicament. Honestly, he managed to ace all these exams at school without even lifting a finger, and he couldn't figure this out.
How dense can he get?
But I can't well wait for another 2 decades just for something as measly as an invitation, can I? It's not like it's going to be a date. Baka. But frankly, I wouldn't mind if it is. However, it's a wish best reserved for some other time. I wouldn't get anywhere if I just kept thinking about the what-ifs. Gathering all my thoughts and courage, I step into my car and gingerly make my way upstairs, invitation in hand. Ever since the incident 3 days ago, there's a strange air permeating the atmosphere here. Weighted with a story that slowly trickles through you until the burden of it finally bogs you down with some kind of disquiet. The day's sense have been uneasy, and Isabel's absence from her flat does not help settle it. Every day coming home somewhat feels like an uphill battle in itself, leaving you spent when you're supposed to be getting some rest. Is Zachary experiencing the same thing? I certainly am. The same early slump is also on Ashton's shoulders once I catch a glimpse of him. He's leaning casually on the rails, his back against its metal surfaces while reading through a bunch of papers. Each one appears more important than the other, despite me having never read a letter of it. He's probably head back to the precinct after this, if he's not going to drop by Zachary's for a bit of shut-eye. No rest for the wicked. But no matter how occupied he seems, he pauses and looks up from his work the moment he hears my treads. He raises his hand in greetings as a small smile spreads across his lips. Excuse me. As as I am, I can't help but return it to him.
What brought you here?
He hums something inaudible, neither an answer nor a vague hint before he turns his attention back to his papers. For a passing second, I thought he ignored or evaded the question like every single time I've asked. But then he shuffles the documents back to a binder and sets it aside with a huff. There's a sound more fatigued than I've ever heard from him recently. Either there's simply too many things keeping him busy at once, or his investigation isn't going too well. Maybe even both.
Just work.
Just work? Do you expect me to believe that?
In a way. I didn't think an important contact ditched me and now I'm stuck would make for a cool alibi. Did it work?
As if there's going to be any difference. You're still a dafty. Anyway, do you want to come in? But if you're going to hang around for a bit, you better turn those headlights off. My landlady's one hairline away from banning you off this place, you know? Stop taking the piss out of her. She's a nice woman.
Is she a nice woman? I don't think she's a nice woman, Rebecca. Maybe to you, comparatively, but...
When she stops taking the piss out of Shirley, maybe I will.
You and your bloody car.
The first time I've heard of the name, I did a double take. From the way he put it, it sounded like he was talking to some woman he met somewhere, surprisingly got along with, and grown fond of. Never mind how impossible that is, knowing his lack of interest for people outside our small circle. Honestly, it sent a surge of panic in me. It lasted for days, until he proudly introduced me to his new car. His car.
It's a nice name. Don't laugh at it. You'll hurt her feelings. I'm gonna have to give that offer a pass, though.
Nothing unexpected, but admittedly, I'm hoping he'd stay for a few minutes. Suddenly asking him to accompany me for some housewarming party is starting to turn to a bad idea. He can't even be bothered to spare a few seconds of his time for his friends, what more if he has to stand more hours in a room full of strangers.
I need to get going. I just dropped in to check on something and...
His words trail off, cut mid-sentence on purpose, leaving it for me to comprehend the rest of it. At the same time, his eyes shut, momentarily towards the door closest to us, Isabel's unit. Eerily quiet now in her absence. The instant her lips curl into a small frown, and his shoulders release, I know work is far from his reasons for being here. Being all too aware of what idea alone summons another dull ache straight into my chest. Like every time, every single moment he forwards her the attention he can never seem to spare others. While it is worry better left for a different situation, it twinges the heart nevertheless.
Is there a problem?
Nothing of note. Abigail just wanted to ask her a few things. It's related to that incident with Cooper. You heard the one.
Hold on. She isn't in trouble, is she?
No, I don't think so. Not as far as I know. And do you really think Scaredy Cat can do anything like that? It's just an off-the-record thing, okay? Abigail wanted to confirm something. She knows I'm friends with someone working at BRC, so she asked me. Apparently she isn't getting anything from that company, as long as the red tape's in the way. It's nothing urgent, though. She isn't answering her phone again, so I thought I'd check myself. I can wait until she gets home.
If she comes home soon. The last time I saw her was 2 nights ago.
His demeanor immediately changes. Despite his careful attempt to appear nonchalant, his eyes scream with an unspoken worry. It's almost painful to see how much he tries to hide it, especially in front of someone he's known for years. Really? Now is the time to think about this? Your friend might be dead? And you're like, damn, why doesn't he look at me in the worry concern as if my missing friend for 2 days is...
What? Did she take a vacation or something?
No word from her, unfortunately. And I don't think she'll go on a trip without telling us. It's been 2 days. 3 if she's not going to show up tomorrow either. Do you think we might have to file a missing person report?
I hope not.
Oops.
Even Zach's not acting like himself already. I wonder what that guy ate. But let me know if anything happens. You know how to contact me. I'll see you later, Becca.
Ashton squeezes my shoulder light as he can before stepping away and heading straight for the stairs. His way of offering comfort in the middle of his little messes we found ourselves in. Amidst all this, a tiny voice at the back of my head nudges a memory. Something I'd forgotten, the very reason why I'd chosen to return home early. She's just super shady to her friend Isabella. And I don't know why, because they seem like they were supposed to be close. So unless I missed something, or the game missed something, I don't know. He's made it 4 steps down before realization kicks in and awareness of the envelope I've been holding returns to me. Panic rears before words can form, or I think about the situation. Not a second sooner, I'm calling out.
Ashton, wait!
He halts 1 foot already out another step as he turns to me, raising an eyebrow in question.
Yeah?
At all times in this moment when I falter, the adrenaline from earlier's panic suddenly recedes. All of a sudden, none of the things I've prepared to say take form, and I've caught between simply forgetting about this or just blurting it out to him while hoping for the best. I mean, we came back home for this reason, right? We might as well ask it, I feel. Like, why else would we come here? I'm just gonna click it. Ashton, the person, he's always like this dumb and didn't pretend he's nice from that. Yeah. Like, I'll you know what? Guy, as a promise, I'm gonna give you my Ashton talk at the end of this, my pros and cons of Ashton. But let me get through this first. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose. I'm not going to lose anything if he says no, which frankly has a very high chance of happening in the opposite. Though the thought still doesn't prevent heat from crawling out my face and send my heart racing. It's better to get this over with before my throat closes up and I lose my nerve.
Tomorrow afternoon. Do you have time?
Small frown is right in his face. I already see where this is going and what he's thinking from that alone. Yet, for some mullish reason, I continue, hanging on to that tiny glimmer of hope he'll say yes, as I present an argument good enough for him. Yo, get ready for it.
That depends. Why?
Well, you see, someone sent an invite for a housewarming party, and I thought you might want to...
Rebecca, I'd rather stand on the messy end of a gunshot. You know that.
I know, it's just... You're one of the few people I can count on with things like this.
That's cool, I appreciate the thought, but really, Zach's a better companion. Gatherings like that just aren't my cup of tea.
It did cross my mind, you know. If he isn't busy with his freelance work, I'd probably ask him too.
I fear I may be on the phone when you give the talk, but if that's the case, I'll watch the stream is over and then message you. Perfect. I can live with that too. If it was your folks, tell them I said hi.
Actually, you two would have been spared if Isabella was here, but
Why not just skip out on it? The world's not going to end if one guest doesn't show up.
trust me, I'd love to. But I promised Mom I'll be there.
Still can't say no, huh?
Like you're any better. Besides, the person who sent this is an old friend of Mom and Dad. If it's important to them, why not? Though, who would have thought, huh? The famous Evans heir used to be tutored by my parents. Apparently, we also met before.
Wait, who?
Evans. Hannah Evans. Well, she's already married. She goes by Hannah Wright now. Remember the couple who bought the mansion Isabella's selling?
The same people?
Ooh, she's just mad because she loves Ash. Yeah, for sure is the reason why she's mad.
As far as I know, unless I misread their address, or there's another Hannah Wright in this city that we don't know about.
Let me see that.
Without warning, he walks closer and takes the invitation off my hands, gently but with enough force of urgency in his voice. I don't know what he finds in it, but his eyebrows draw together and his eyes scan through the lines of text printed on the small piece of paper. His hold on the envelope tightens with each pass, and by the time he finished reading, his mouth has formed to a thin line.
You never mentioned this.
We met just once. Or at least, that's what Mum told me. Honestly, I can't recall anything from it. Otherwise, I would have told you about it.
He hums something inaudible under his breath, all while thumbing the paper, staring at it as if it were Sewell pre-offers him answers to every unspoken question in his head. When he gleams nothing of it, he merely folds the envelope back in its hand.
Alright, I'll go with you.
What?
I'll go with you. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Unless you've already made up your mind about asking Z-Man.
No, I told you already the guy's busy. Why would I bother him for this when I can go alone? But what about your own work and...
Sure.
And...
I can make time for this. 3 o'clock, yeah? I'll pick you up an hour or so before.
My head reels, less than what it implies, more from how easy all this seems for him, how fast this turns around is. He's already halfway down the stairs when any resemblance of sense returns to me, and I finally string 2 words of protest together. Yet all of it dies on my tongue, and the small smile shoots at me. He disappears from view seconds later. His voice is gradually fading as he descends the stairwell, until all I could hear are my own shallow breaths and heartbeat, loud pounding heart against my chest. Okay, so yeah, I'll talk about that in my talk too. Just give me 1 quick second. It's only after I'm standing alone in my room, minutes later, that it sinks in. Such an opportunist. He is a huge opportunist. I will give you that. He's taken the invitation with him, and besides that, more than that, he's also accepted mine. Calling his happiness is a complete understatement. For now, looming thoughts of the mansion and that woman lay silent on the back of my head. Okay, so Ash Talk. Real fast. This Ash Talk, it has like a hyphen, please, not hyphen, fucking asterisk to note. We haven't done Ash's route, so this could all change based on my opinion of Ash's route. But, so, my opinion of Ash. So, I'm fine with Ash. I like certain things, I don't like certain things. And this is all based on perception on the views of other characters. Unreliable narrator could possibly be happening, so on and so forth. I like Ashton when he's cool and collected. I think Ash is very awkward at other points, like the ringtone, Fly for an Asian Guy. If I recall correctly, that was the ringtone. I do think the Z-Man thing is a little cringy. I will say, I think the Z-Man thing is actually, like, banter between friends that we, the audience, don't have enough time to develop to really, like Zach always sounds very frustrated with it, and Ash doesn't change, but I really feel like Ash is not the type of person to not pick up on that attribute. So I really think it's just some, like, they've been friends for years, and this is how they have friendly banter, but we, the audience, can't, like, really get that because we've known them for, like, 10 minutes, if even. So I think it's supposed to come off as cute, but to us, the audience, it comes off as really cringy, and I totally agree, it comes off as very cringy, and I kind of wish they didn't push it so hard, but, you know, I get what they're trying to go for, it's just awkward. I think the relationship between Rebecca and Ash is very... No, Zach is repeatedly asking to stop, and I think he's doing it on purpose and not cute. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but I definitely think it's like... It's like that fucking stupid trope in shows where it's like, hey, Buckaroo, don't call me that. You know, like that fucking joke. Like, once again, Zach seems irritated, but not to the point where it's like bothering him, because the note isn't always long enough for it to be like a serious moment. So, from my perspective, it comes off as a gag. Their friends for years to call me things I don't like, and it was because they didn't care about my preference. Yeah, no, and I totally get that too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that doesn't happen in reality, and once again, I could be totally misinterpreting this as well. It feels to me like this is supposed to come across as a gag between the two of them that I just don't think is that good, if that makes sense. You were right, yeah. And once again, like, if Zach had an internal monologue where he was super bothered by it, and which, don't get me right, it doesn't need to happen. Like, you know, I'm not saying, like, it's invalidated because Zach doesn't have an inner monologue. It's just, the fact is always so brushed upon that I just don't get that feeling that it's supposed to be intended to be anything malicious, even if not intentional. You know what I'm saying? But once again, like, that's just my perspective on it, and I'm sure if Ash as a narrator goes over it, I will understand it better. Or if Ash doesn't go over it and I see it in more instances, I might change my perspective on it. But that's just my thought on it. What I'm trying to say is I don't think Ash does it. I think Ash is aware of the dialogue, but does it out of goofiness. But we, the audience, don't think it's that funny, and also, you know, we aren't close enough with the relationship to perceive it as friendly banter. But once again, that's just my perspective on this. I'm not married to this idea, and I would gladly change it if I see it in more instances. I also believe Zach and Rebecca is Ashton. I think Ashton and Rebecca is very cringy for me. It's very clear that Ashton has no interest in Rebecca, but at the same time, I feel like there's going to be some ending where they come together and it's going to be really bad, which I won't go for. Like, he's clearly using Rebecca right now to get to the manor. All Rebecca does every time he's mentioned it is, like, grows weak, and it's fucking so cringy. I hate it. But it's not really a reflection on Zach. It's really more a reflection on Rebecca. I don't really like Rebecca Isabella either. This might change if I see more interaction with them. But I don't also really like Isabella x Zach either. I said Ashton before, right? I hope so. I don't like Ashton, Isabella, or Isabella Zach, but I like Isabella Zach more than Isabella Ashton. But I need more moments, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is I'm a hardcore shipper, and there's too much horror and not enough shipping. Thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Let's keep playing the game. I'm sorry. That was a shitty talk. In conclusion, I think Ashton is very cringy and leads to very bad taste in people's mouths. But I don't think he's supposed to come off in that way, and I like it when he's super analytical. AKA the things I've repeated like 8 times. Yeah, I think Isabella Zach is stronger. I'm not 100% into Isabella Zach. It's definitely the closest ship I have of the two, though, for sure. I'm glad you liked it. I'm not super into Isabella Ashton that much, and I'm definitely not into Ashton Rebecca at all. Like, I like Luke Rebecca way more, which I don't really like that ship either, so. I'm picking up what you're putting. Yay, that's what I have to hear. I think the only ship I really like is... Actually, probably Isabella Zachary is probably the ship I like the most. The more I really think about it. I don't like Marianne Hannah. I think lusting over someone who reminds you of your deceased girlfriend is not a good coping mechanism. I don't like Luke Hannah for obvious reasons. I don't like this. I think this is really fucking bad. This is okay, but I don't like it. I don't like either character, so it doesn't really develop anything for me. I don't like Hannah Zach that much. And Isabella Ashton, I have no opinion on it because they really don't interact too much for me. Okay, boom. I have a ship. What's your ship? I'm very curious, actually. I play these games totally on shipping reasons, so. Josh X. Oh, shit. Psh. I'm Marianne X everybody here because she's our wives, 100%, I'm willing to share. Once again, I actually, I loved Marianne before doing her out, and now I just really like her. And I feel really shitty about that. She's just a little bit too much of an ass. Just like a tiny bit too much. She's like that perfect wife that accidentally says something really rude to service workers. And you're like, she's so good except for that one fact, and I really don't like that one fact. Anyways. Joke. Ashton Luke, but it's like, hate fucking. You know, I heavy support hate fucking. Fuck yeah, let go. 76X Reaper, fuck yeah. The Night Wears, you know, I actually really hate fucking, but whatever. Like, I support the shippers who like it, don't get me wrong. The night wears on until further incident, despite the great number of thoughts swimming inside my head. Come morning, it's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morn. This one's uneasy, tight with anticipation, like a string stretched thin, mere waiting the proper time to snap. Granted, I don't make any day less pleasant, but the edge is there. As expected, the second I step out of my flat, it comes apart, broken by the voices of two squabbling adults echoing from a floor below. The quiet was nice while it lasted. Shame.
What the hell were you thinking?
Do I know this voice? I don't think so.
I wasn't. Ow! Could you let go?
Oh, I was like, it definitely sounded like those two, but I wasn't sure it was supposed to be like some couple that were married that we didn't know about. So I was like, these sound exactly like Belle and Ashton, but maybe they're just their voice actors doing a married couple role. Only out here like Josh, you, yeah, you know I hate relationships. I hate rival relationships. I like them good and pure and fluffy as possible, and I'm a bitch like that, and I can live with that. Not a second, they both ascend the stairs with Ashton pulling Isabella by her wrist. She struggles as she should, but his hold on her remains firm. Freeing herself means having to draw blood as she attempts to pry his hands open with her other one, or using unnecessary force to push herself away. Neither of which is better than the other. One could potentially end in an accident, while the other means having to hurt him physically. She has a good sense to realize that, or at least, however, it doesn't come to the desperate edge in her voice when she answers Ashton's temper with her own. So on they go, none the wiser to my presence.
You have any idea how much trouble you could get in?
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Is this what you've been doing these past 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Rose died, Ash.
Oh.
I know. Every single person in Luxford knows. It's on the damn news. But that doesn't mean...
People are missing. Some of those are my friends. And BRC's just covering it all up.
You can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it, right off the bat. This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. There's red tape all over this case for a reason. We sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Sweats.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will...
It's been a whole week. This stupid letter prank is getting old real fast. I'm sick of it.
Okay, Lash might be losing some points. I mean, I don't, like, you know, in his defense, he doesn't have a lot of scenario, but it's not a good look for him.
It was funny the first time, not so much now.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
All right, you two are awfully loud. What's going on here?
Both their heads snap up, almost in unison. A displeased frown is on each of their faces, but it's a necessary interruption. What can they do? People still in their units have already taken interest in the commotion, with some taking a peek behind their curtains, while others are bold enough to creak open their doors, if only slightly. If they don't keep it down, pretty soon our landlady will show up. Getting a reprimand from her is the last thing I want to happen. First thing on a Friday morning, even if it's hardly my fault.
Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people.
Don't worry, we're done here.
Don't any of these people work? Like, not these three, like, in the fucking other buildings. It's a Friday.
No, we aren't. Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them, and...
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place. Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. A team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
Your precious team is looking at it the wrong way. Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
Last bit strikes a chord, prods strongly on a memory. At this vicious smile already etched deep inside my mind, the image appears clear enough that, at the mere mention of it, I stumble out my own question.
What do you mean?
The letter, Rebecca! It's not...
Oh, he's gonna interrupt.
It's nothing.
Oh.
If there's really something going on because of that dumb letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we?
This is gonna be really weird if Ash has seen the ghost too, because like we're like what, on the 30th right now?
But Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive. So for the last time, this isn't a curse.
This would be really weird if Zach died or Isabella died in our routes.
There's a murderer on the loose, and your co-workers happen to be the victims. Give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for this shit.
Don't you think that's too much for a coincidence?
Not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern. I'll tell you about it some other time. And anyway, coincidence or not, the point is, civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger.
I wasn't chasing after...
Will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute? What's this about your coworkers, Belle?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe this shit.
Sure, in a heartbeat, I agree with Ashton. That's how it's always been, besides having a very good point. Really, they're the very same ones he'll make every time I ask him any questions. But the fact of the matter is that he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been sensing the last few days. It doesn't matter what Isabella or I believe on our own. Something odd has been happening around me, and that letter she picked up is at the heart of this. Ooh, this is definitely pro Ashton, maybe negative Isabella. This is definitely pro Isabella, potentially negative Ashton. What's my heart at? Who can afford to take a hit? I don't really support Rebecca x Ashton anyway, so I don't give a fuck about his opinion. But I know we don't care about Isabella. But I might as well keep that facade up. Hey, I was right. Fuck yeah. Ashton Baker wasn't too happy to hear it. Imagine the look on his face doesn't take too much effort. His entire posture shifts the moment my reluctance shows. Shoulders tensing, brows furrowing, eyes gaining a sharp edge. He's already bracing himself for the disappointment. But it will be a disappointment. Not in a million years did I ever believe I'll ever be sinless either.
I might have seen her. The woman Belle's been telling us about. The one she said she saw in the attic.
Both of them stare at me like I've grown an extra head. For a few moments, Ashton looks like he's about to have a fit. A pause trends at his heels after. A silence thick enough one can almost hear a pin drop.
You're kidding, right?
Do I look like I'm joking?
Really, Becca? Not funny.
Ash, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about this? It's been this way since the film fest. The past few days have been really odd since we read that letter.
It is a little weird saying it out loud, I will confess.
Last night, you mentioned Zach hasn't been acting like himself. Maybe you should ask him, too.
Or maybe you're all just feeling under the weather.
I'm not sick. Don't you think I'd know that by now?
Becca, you're starting to sound like Scaredy Cat. Give me a break.
Why don't you?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you two.
Isabel's voice cuts sharply through the conversation, abruptly putting an end to the brewing argument.
It's all my fault. This is all my fault. I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you. I'm sorry for dragging you all into this.
She breathes in, deep, steady, and in that moment, something falls between her eyes as she looks away.
I'll fix this. I promise.
A quiet resolve. The same one I saw in her that night from 3 days ago. But this time it burns brighter. Fucking anime-ass game. Even Ashton wavers at its sight when she looks him straight into the eyes, gaze unflinching. Gradually, his grip on his wrists loosens.
Well, there's nothing to fix. The problem is...
Just this once, Ash.
His voice, though small and lacking any force, stops him. Along with it, every sound, every noise dies around us, a hush descending as if the world is waiting for her
You
words.
don't have to come with me, but if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
She lays a hand on top of his. Soundtrack, let go. Gentle, pleading, almost intimate, and what exactly the circumstances we find ourselves in.
Please.
Ashton will never tell a soul, will never admit it even to himself, but it's in that short second that his own resolve breaks. The moment the hard edge in his eyes soften, he relinquishes his hold on her, letting his hands fall limply at his side. Wordlessly, Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving only a muttered thanks and a small, lackluster smile. Only after the last of her footsteps fade away does Ashton move, breaking the silence with one of those sharp exhales before reaching up to pinch the bridge of his nose in a gesture of frustration and surrender.
Did you really have to tell her that?
What do you want to hear from me then? That everything's fine?
No, I want all of you to stop putting these ideas in her head. None of it is helping. Never mind. Don't worry about her. I'll bring her back here.
He's really poised to leave when my own instinct carries over. I reach for him, gripping his elbow with the same unyielding grip, the action prompting by whispers whispering at the back of my mind. He's already made it clear he's not going to believe me, but he deserves a word of caution. He knows where all this would take us, how all this will end. He shouldn't be caught off guard, beliefs notwithstanding.
Ash, I know you don't believe in those things she's saying. And you know me. I'm less inclined to believe in those things as you do. But I've seen something. There's something strange going on here. You don't have to buy it. If you don't want to listen to me, fine. But please, try to hear her out. It's bad enough that Isabella goes off like this without telling anyone. I'm just worried something might happen to her if she keeps at it. Talk to her, okay?
As if she trusts me enough for that.
Doesn't the fact that she approached you first about this, instead of me, already say a lot?
A different kind of trust, granted implicitly and never spoken, sometimes too big, too fragile to last. He falls silent for a long moment as he turns it over in his mind. In the end, he all imagines is a small nod before he departs, and a promise to, at least, listen to her, without the teasing or the jibs. A favor for me, the least he could do for her. This is as much as I can do for him as well, until I understood what's happening myself. What time is it? It's 10:02. I can go probably a little bit longer, because I don't know how much is left. But I feel like there has to be at least the party left. And that party is probably long, and I'm not sure there's more after that. I'll go a little bit longer just to see where this goes. But if it starts the party, I'll probably wrap it. Tonight, hopefully, where all this started will provide the answers I'm looking for. Oh. That was fast. But the whole thing's off to a bad start, and all of a sudden, whatever Isabel claims during this match comes the least of my concerns. Severely underdressed is a total understatement to describe how I look. Cars worth more than my own apartment and childhood home combined line the mansion's front yard. Men and women checked in their best also flock near the entrance. Most are eager for the festival to start, while some are simply idling about, enjoying the warm afternoon sun before it sets. But once the woman standing at the front porch speaks, their undivided attention immediately shifts to her. Presumably Mrs. Wright, at the confident manner she holds herself among present company. This despite keeping a far simpler appearance than the rest of her own guests or not having her husband beside her. A trait worthy of utmost admiration at best. At worst, she's the envy of every woman, the subject of every gossip in Luxbourne.
Welcome everyone.
And Mom said we couldn't have been good. And Mom said we could have been good friends. I can't even picture myself mingling with the kind of guest she has. Though I admit she does seem familiar now that I've seen her this close. Memories of sitting in a vanity not mine, being dressed in clothes too fancy for my own tastes. They fit briefly in my mind until her cheery tone arises from the buzz of her enraptured audience again.
Please, make yourselves at home.
I wish I could share her enthusiasm, really. But besides surrounded by all this extravagance, for the lack of a better term, merely makes me dread how the rest of the night might go. Also knowing there might be some truth but lies in the place helps drive the unease further by a notch. Ashton, on the other hand...
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
For someone who abhors gatherings like this, he already seems right at home, standing with an air too lackadaisical as he watches the valet drive off his bloody car.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
His disdain has likely shown beyond the tone of my voice, quite possibly in the form of a grimace. His smile seems so fake. He chuckles over a moment where mirth and amusement dances around his features. Try as I might to put up a stern glare, I can't help but join him instead. And I think this is the first time I see him smile or something, because it's so fucking weird. There's something in the lightness of it, how easy this kind of interaction falls into place when we don't let feelings get too involved, despite of being stuck in a situation we're not fond of. It brings back memories. Or the mansion doesn't hold up. The moment doesn't hold up, sorry. All of a sudden, Ashton goes quiet.
Chief?
An expression flashes momentarily across his face, though he blinks it away, before we figure out what exactly.
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
It's not that he doesn't make any effort to spare a glance my way when he answers. Instead, he's focused at some point in the crowd. His gaze darting between people walking past us until a small frown forms in his face. Isn't the chief the really sexist guy who hates his wife?
Oh, wait, Ash! Oh, what about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
I meet the smile he hastily throws my way with a frown of my own. What does he mean by that? But before I can ask, he's ready. He turns back from me and is walking away, without a single explanation whatsoever. In some desperate effort, I try to catch up to him, if only to know what had warranted the sudden departure with his odd warning.
Hey, be careful! About what exactly?
Only for my attempts to be interrupted by a muffled ringing in my pocket. Mom's cheerful voice greets me as soon as I answer.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
Conversation doesn't last long. Just a simple hello, a reminder to enjoy the party, and to send their regards to their old student. But when the call ends, I get to look up. Ashton's already heading inside. With a sigh and admittedly a little disappointment, I tuck my roll back into my pocket and follow after him.
So much for a date.
Even with familiar company, this is somewhat shaping up to be a terrible evening. Okay. With this, I will now call it. I really wanted to do Bella's route by today, but it's longer than I expected, and I feel like the next 3 will be longer than the first 4. So, que sera, sera. We'll definitely finish her path next week, for sure. Let me see. So we have the rest of Rebecca's, Ashton, and Luke. I'm hoping we get this done in the next 4 weeks, but might be too optimistic. I feel like Luke's will be hell long. Anyways, thanks so much everybody for coming. Sorry that we did not finish the route, but hopefully we will soon. We will probably be back to this next week if work doesn't destroy me. But until then, I hope everyone has a great night. Thanks so much for joining, and as always, thank you for your support. I hope to see you guys soon. Until then, have a good one, and I love you. Bye-bye.